Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have the prayer and the pledge by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas.
Please all bow our heads and we'll say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Paul, please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That one was right.
Roll call.
Oh, you know.
Might be a little crazy.
Don't sound like it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas.
Present.
Councilmember Brooke Marcotte. Here. Councilmember Marlon Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember David Broussard.
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter. Here. Councilmember Deidre Johnson-Reed. Here. Councilmember Dustin Sweer.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, we'll have public comment. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. When the clerk calls your name, there's no back and forth. Please silence your cell phones. And we have a lot of people here tonight, so we'll get started. And thank you for coming.
Michelle Watts.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My
Good.
name is Michelle Watson. I'm with the WDW Foundation. And I'm on behalf of the citation and tickets everybody talking about. Okay, I didn't get a ticket, but I got a citation saying that was my warning. Okay, but they got several people that got tickets, and that is very. So today I happened to catch up with the news lady today, and I brought her to that site where we was able to see exactly what the cameras and everything is doing. So as me pulling off today, and I'm not even doing 0 miles yet, but it got me doing 25. Okay? I also have proof on my phone where my granddaughter's on the other side, and I did that because I had got calls about this. So I had to go out there and investigate as us as a public ministry. We try to help the community and see what's going on. So I had to go out there and try to figure out what everybody's ramping and raving about. But I see. I mean, to me, the cameras the way they have it set is set too fast, and it's programmed to make money. That's what I see. It is programmed to make money.
Larry Gaspard Jr.
Come on in. We're not built for this many people.
3 minutes, don't start these stuff.
No, I just want to say that they're not accurate. They're not at all. And I was reading up on them that saying that if you don't pay your ticket, they said don't go against your record. It doesn't affect your driving record or anything like that. But also, how can they put a lien on your car, and if you don't pay, they repossess your car, even though if you up to date with your payments and everything? Well, how is that even legal, legit? We had no warnings on and everything. But I got caught right on Lewis Street I got warnings now, 2 warnings. I was doing 30 in a 25, it says, or 20. And I was not doing that, because every time I go right there, I do 20 or under. And it says I'm doing 32 to 33. So that's just my questions, my concerns on it. That I don't think that's right that they could do all that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Janice Boneff for 6C.
Mine is the same concern that the other people are expressing, that I did get a ticket in the North Lewis School District. And I'm not against having people there. I used to thank David Lester constantly when he would be there to monitor the school zone back when I taught there. But I've gone by that area 3 different times since then, and not once has that camera matched my speedometer. So So there's something amiss there. And I think it needs to be taken care of before you start charging people $180 to $300 and something.
Frank Barber.
All right. Good evening, all of you. If anybody doesn't know, I'm an attorney in New Iberia. I've been here for over 20 years practicing, helping the people of this community. I take this seriously. I was given 9 warnings, I think 5 tickets. All right. And none of them are mine, and I'm not paying on one of them. I will not pay any of them. Hallelujah. First of all, as a lawyer doing constitutional law, part of my practice is constitutional law, and I've given each one of you this booklet. I would like for more people to know the provisions of the Constitution, especially Amendments 5, 6, and 14. It gives what's called due process, and we've all heard that thing thrown around, due process. That is serious. So on this ticket, it says $180. I wasn't in these vehicles. I have 6 vehicles, and I haven't figured out who is in these vehicles. There's 2 of them involved. I don't know who is in them, and it's not my duty to tell you who it is either. On the back of this ticket, it says, I made my mark here. It says here on the first paragraph, it pursuant to Louisiana state law and New Iberia local ordinance, etc. That's state law you're referring to as a criminal statute. And to enforce a criminal statute, you need due process. And you know, Mr. Dalbar, our chief, knows that. You need to be able to confront your witnesses. You need the compulsory process, all of those rights that go with it. Now, if this goes any further, I will have to file suit and do whatever I have to do. I'm going to go through your little appeals process, but I don't think it's right. You cannot enforce a criminal statute in a civil process like this. I think they tried that in Lafayette and it failed, and I think it's going to fail over here. Calibration. I spoke with I have several friends. I can truly call them friends that are law enforcement people. They're law enforcement officers sworn to uphold the law. Every morning that a state trooper gets on duty, or every night, whatever his shift is, or her shift, you know what they do? They take out their little tuning fork and they bang on their tuning fork and they calibrate their speed radar. And if it's more than 1 mile an hour over or under, they cannot use that thing that day, that shift, and they cannot write any speeding tickets for that. This thing is obviously, I know this gentleman here has the picture I was going to use. I'll let him use it because I'm running out of time. But it's obviously, he has picture proof that shows you going 20 miles an hour and the machine says 32. The thing's obviously not calibrated. Y'all know that. Y'all have notice of it. Jeff, y'all have notice of it, legal notice in public, and it's wrong. So I say the Constitution supersedes, is on top of this stuff here. And I hope that all of you will do the right thing. Either get it fixed or do it right, or get rid of them.
Or
How about Libake? Yeah.
Yes, I live 3 blocks from that school zone. I well know it's a school zone. I've always adhered to the speed limits. When I got my ticket, I know what day that was, because when I was pulling up to the school zone, I always looked for the flashing lights. The lights were not flashing. Halfway through the school zone, I happened to glance down at my clock on my radio and realized it was showing 3 minutes till 4. As I passed the end of the school zone, I looked in my rearview mirror to check the flashing lights on the southbound traffic. Those lights were not flashing. My ticket shows I got a ticket at 2.5 minutes before 4. The lights weren't working. And I also agree, they never show the same speed. I have 2 vehicles, 3, a motorcycle, a car, and a truck. It never matches my speed. It's always registering higher.
That's how it is. That's how it is. It's a big one.
Michael starts with an A, last name, I'm sorry. ASHAU. Oh, Michael A. Shaw Jr. made it. I got you.
How you doing? Quick question. Why do some people get warnings and some people don't? I have acquaintance of mine last month during actually November 8th at 8:55 in the morning got a warning going 38 and 25, and then me personally last Tuesday, which was the 5th, 3:55 in the afternoon, which still is school time. Same thing, 25 and a 38, so I'm just wondering why.
Wilbur Thomas.
I have no problem with the city trying to do things to make things safe on the street and in the school zones. I don't have a problem with that at all. What I have a problem with is y'all implementing something where the public hasn't been what I consider adequately notified of what's going on. I got 3 tickets. I can't say I was in the car. I can't say I wasn't in the car. But I don't know who was. And my car can't pay the ticket. You see what I'm saying? So y'all saying somebody got to pay the ticket, but who? Now, I've been in situations where they had that type of setup, but you got a picture of the back of the plate, right? But you also got a picture of the driver. So now you can match the person who's in the car with the license, at the time of the thing. But you can't match anybody with anything right now. So who paid the ticket? Okay, the car was there obviously because you got it, but who was driving? So all I'm saying is, I think if we're gonna do stuff like this, you need to prepare the citizens better in terms of knowing and being informed on what's going on and how it's gonna be done, so that it's a new program and everybody got to get used to what's going on. That's why y'all send some people warnings, trying to get them in a mindset. Well, this is what I have to do. But the way it's going right now, I can't agree with it. I'm all for safety. I'm all for looking out for our kids. Now, I don't want you to get me wrong. But, Lafayette gave up the program because it just didn't work. Too many suits, too many this, that. They had a lot of problems with it. And I think it's the same company. So I mean, there's a lot of things I think y'all need to look at too. All right, so that's my little piece. I'm done.
Bart Boyer.
Good evening, everyone. My situation's a little different. My complaint's a little different. I received a warning about a month or so ago and took it to heart. I don't really drive down Jefferson Terrace, at least that end of Jefferson Terrace very much. But it said you were speeding. Said, okay, fine. I'll pay attention to it. But then I got another one on November 30th, and that's where the problem comes in. Because you see, from the beginning of September until November 17th, I was hospitalized 5 times for heart disease. On November 17th, at Houston Methodist Hospital in Texas, I had heart surgery. Now, like most people after surgery, particular after heart surgery, you're not allowed to do something. You're not allowed to drive. And yet my second ticket, with a picture that eerily resembles the first ticket, is dated November 30th when I was still recuperating from heart surgery. My follow-up visit is this Friday. So I'll be leaving Thursday to be back in Houston to see the doctor again on Friday. So I'm just curious how my vehicle, unless it's the same picture being used twice to now generate the fee, how my vehicle got on Jefferson Terrace when I wasn't driving it and no one else does. The only way around that would be if some thief was so considerate that he took it, sped down Jefferson Terrace, and then returned it back to my driveway in the same place it was parked before. So something here just isn't quite right.
Barry Nakan.
Hello. I pretty much want to agree with this gentleman right here, and the fact is that I received 2 warnings and then I received 2 tickets. All of them at 36 and at 25. If anything, I was doing 25, not 36. So I live in Southport and I travel that area every day. So I know the schools, I know the zones, everything. So these things are not calibrated right for the people, and this is ridiculous, and something needs to be done. Thank you.
Sabrina Jiwa.
Good afternoon. I have not received a citation. My good friend did, and so many other people. My question, along with Mr. Barber, regarding the Constitution, but also regarding a bigger problem, I think, and it's about our police not doing their job. I would say that if you really want children to be safe at school, and I think that they should be, but I think we need police there. Okay, so if we don't have enough police, then you people need to find out what's going on with that, and you need to find a way to get this police department doing what they're supposed to do. We are paying our taxes. We are citizens who are supporting our town, our parish, our schools, and everything else. And I want to understand why this city has to go out and get a company who is not relevant, who is not, obviously not on the up and up, and charging people these outrageous amounts to generate some revenue for a police department that should be out there watching our kids, making sure that they're doing their job. I'm not doing their job. I don't need to do their job. I don't need to do your job. I want you guys to do your job. That's what you're paid for. That's what we pay our taxes for. And that's all I have to say.
Barry Rogers.
Pretty much the same thing as everybody else. I don't think that the speed is correct. I know it's wrong. I got a warning ticket, and then the ticket I got is the same thing as my warning ticket, going 36 into 25. It's impossible to do the same thing twice. I don't believe that. Another thing I think, really, if you put a police officer out there with blue lights on, people are going to slow down. They're going to watch for that. That'll do more for the public than the camera will do. Camera's not going to tell you nothing or stop anybody from going in these other speeds. And that's all I got to say.
Benjamin.
Good evening. As Mr. Barber said, speaking about the amendments, number 1, freedom of speech. I'd like to thank y'all for allowing me this opportunity to speak. I appreciate y'all time. Please listen before responding. This is all I ask. We are here today regarding cameras in a school zone. They are not correct, which I understand this concern, I really do. What about the cameras in the jail that showed the last breaths of lives? This could be our children, friend, husband. How do we even know these people were even convicted of a real crime to begin with? I believe in order to make New Iberia the city it has never been before, is having Aku convicted for what he's guilty for. This isn't just hearsay, but actual footage. I know what allegations are. The old people of the town scared of Aku after he steals their money. They are afraid to bring attention in fear of their lives. Now, this is allegations. The beatings of innocent people and the videos of them taking their last breaths on camera footage is actually the very truth, not an allegation. We as the people of New Iberia need to come together and make this right to show New Iberia justice does serve. We need to get the new sheriff and get this done. Rest in peace to all those who have died because of the hand of our former sheriff and give their families hope and rest. I thank you for your time and support. I have a petition here for you all to sign. Let's make New Iberia a place for families, not violence.
Charles Landry.
My concerns are pretty much just like everyone. The first ticket I received, I was 37 and a 25. I got the second notice in the mail, pretty much the same thing, but the second time I was pulling a cargo trailer and it's not in the picture. That's pretty much what I.
This one, it's THUATTUONG, Vo. Gotcha.
Yeah. Hello, I'm a Vietnamese. The name is the school unit. I know 25. I write 25, 28, 30 something like that. Huh? No, but sometimes I know the school unit. I be safe for the children. But I have 2 tickets today, and I call this afternoon. I have 1 more ticket. Maybe on the way tomorrow, next day. I don't know. So I hope everybody here to send me. So I think the camera wrong. So I want everybody. I want you to clear. This means don't pay that. Everybody, the same me. Don't pay it. That's what I want to say. Thank you very much.
Brett Lang.
Go, Brett.
Hey, good evening. I need no introduction. Y'all know who I am. So first off, I've received 4 of these citations. I do not speed in a school zone. At night, I actually slow down, knowing, it's not a school zone, it's just habit. When I ran for city marshal, one of my plans was to put people, law enforcement officers, not cameras, in the school zones to slow people down because it is an issue. So my question is, why do we not have officers in the school zones? We passed a tax to support bringing the police department back. Can somebody answer me? How many officers are on shift? The budget was supposed to be for 10. I was called a dumb cop sitting behind a computer screen when I questioned the budget. You remember that, Mr. Mayor? In the judges' chambers, you remember that? If some dumb cop wants to sit behind a computer screen and pick apart my budget, tell him don't vote for it. Yeah, that was me. You campaigned against me. Most of y'all did, with the exception of some, when I ran for city marshal. So tell me why our city marshal can't put people, it's a Monday through Friday job, why he can't put officers in these school zones instead of these cameras. These cameras are not accurate. They're not accurate. And what y'all are doing to the people of New Iberia is wrong on so many levels. Y'all are Merry Christmas to New Iberia. That's what y'all are telling them. Hey, come shop. Come shop New Iberia. Come support New Iberia. But hey, you're going to leave with a $180, $200 ticket when you do that. That's not right. And y'all know it's not right. Thank you.
Dung Lee.
Good evening. My name is Dung Lee. I go by Kelly. I have a violation citation speeding at school zone on Lewis Street. I live down Laurelville Road. I live down Sugar Mill Road. I live around Daspit School 20 years. I live down Laurelville Road, which is right there by North Lewis Elementary. I know school zone. I have children that goes to school here. I'm gonna have grandchildren later that's gonna start school. Safety of children are first to me.
Yes.
I do not speed in a school zone. I do not believe this is correct.
Yeah, that's right.
If it's right, correct, I pay my dues. I'm very responsible of what I do.
Right.
If this is how y'all wanna make the money from us, This is wrong. This is wrong. That's all I need to say. I don't know. People get warning. I don't. I didn't. This is my first. It shocked me. Literally, me and my husband got into it because we don't even know who did it. Daddy, you speed, I tell you all the time. You work away. When you come home, you gotta watch that speed limit because he's never home. He don't know New Iberia like I do. He works in North Dakota come home twice a year. I know New Iberia. I work here. I pay tax here. I live here. My children graduate at Westgate. I live around school. I live down Laurier Road. I do everything down North Lewis Street. I take a left for everything. McDonald's, Bilo, Walmart food. I go everywhere down North Lewis. Don't you think I know there's a school? From 7 to 9 and from 2 to 4, I go to my bank down Lewis. Everything is down Lewis. This is wrong. I didn't do this. Tell me. Prove it. Prove the person driving. I'll pay it.
Tyler Galantine?
Hello, my name is Tyler Galantine. I'm the one that took the liberty and had the time to go out and get some photographic proof that the camera is wrong. So, you know, when I spoke with the police department, they told me that a lot of people had claims. Well, I actually got proof. I still have to go to court and present this proof, which isn't right. I really want to thank Freddie, Mayor Freddie, for dropping the $50 contesting fee. But I'm strongly concerned that that wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have caused such an uproar. I know that I would have been able to get out of the ticket, but that wasn't the problem. That wasn't what this was about. All of these people don't have photographic proof. What about the people that have already paid their tickets? Yes. What about the people that are, because I don't know if you guys understand, like, so where are they going to get that money from? I'm sure this guy knows things about class action lawsuits. I'm not against the cameras, but I'm also not for them. I work with electronics every single day. I know that electronics malfunction. It's a common occurrence, and that's just the nature of electronics. They're not people, you know. So, but as people were saying that a camera isn't going to stop anything. Some people are never going to pay the tickets, and some people are just going to fly through anyway. So that's not safety, as unfortunate as it seems. And I mean no disrespect to you guys running the city, but this literally just benefits you guys. No matter what, we could pay the tickets. Y'all just get the money. Nobody's going to slow down for the cameras. We need a cop out there, something out there that shows, hey, slow down. Yeah. So and I also believe that, you know, because no one else has proof, but I do have proof that the camera's malfunctioning. Technically speaking, everybody's ticket should be thrown out, and this whole system should be reset with actual calibration. It was really disturbing that after my post on Facebook started making so much traction, I don't know who released it, the company or the police department released the calibration video saying that it's calibrated every so often. That's BS. You can make a video saying whatever you want. So that doesn't mean anything. That's it. I'm not against the cameras, but I'm also not for the way that all of this is being handled. Because I have a daughter, you know. I'm about safety. That's all.
John Segura.
Yes, sir. I was going down Lewis Street from Lewis Street School. This thing said I was doing 32 and a 20, but this picture also shows I was stepping on my brake to slow. When I looked up, I was doing 19 miles an hour. So how could I be doing 32? But that's it. This is wrong too to be really doing this. I feel I shouldn't even have to pay this. But I go through school zones all the time, and I sure do the speed limit. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That is all of our comment cards. At this time, because I don't want you to have to sit through the entire meeting, and we have other business, I'm gonna ask the council, if they don't mind, if someone could make a motion that we move item 6C up to now.
So moved.
Motion second.
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas and a second by Councilman Marlon Lewis. Is there any discussion on this motion?
The
Hearing,
movement of it?
to move it up.
No, okay.
Okay. Hearing, seeing none, please vote your machines. Okay, now we're gonna move this up so you can see how we were addressing this issue. And at this time, I'd like to call on the police chief. No.
All right. Several things, and obviously, the people here, and not just the people here, but the many that have called and spoken to my office and the mayor's office about the concerns of the standalone display sign that's there as a deterrent and the calibration of the machine. We hear your voice. For those that have called and discussed the warning period not being appropriately applied to give people an opportunity to receive warning citations prior to the enforcement period. In other words, getting them simultaneous. Your voices are heard. You know, there are several things that, as the mayor's office and my office has received the numerous calls, that we then brought phone calls to the company about addressing some of the concerns that have been voiced from everyone, not just the people here, but the people that are not here today. So we have addressed those and you know, kind of backtrack a little bit and get into how do we get here in a sense of what led to, because you hear some of the comments, I know people are frustrated, have gotten angry about certain things. Why aren't the police? Why aren't this? Why aren't, well, when all of these things took place, and understand this was voted on in 2022. This was not a Christmas 2023 vote. Nobody in the city council voted in this month to say, let's start citing people close to Christmas time. That was never when it was done. This vote was made in 2022. Why was that? Because, look, at the end of the day, the people in this town and drive through this town have a speeding problem. That's a fact. I take ownership of the fact for the past 5 years that I've been here, and when the previous administration of the sheriff's office was here, there was not a consistent traffic enforcement. We haven't had it. Our address has been towards major crimes. Our address has been towards other concerns that we have as a department to try to lower the violence in our city. So I looked at an opportunity to look at what is available out there to try to address the issues of our speeding and driving habits in our city. One of those things started with our school zones. Why did that come up at that time? At that point in time, we had a T-bone accident in front of one of our high schools in Admiral that could have taken the life of a young teenager. We had a fatality when I first came in among Jefferson Terrace by New Iberia High School. One life is one too many is what I proposed to the council back then. I want you to know in 2022, my department handled 1,538 car accidents in this city. 1,538 car accidents in this city in 1 year. That's absolutely beyond the fact of people thinking they know how to drive. The driving habits needed to change. What I needed to do was look at what avenues are out there to be able to get people to slow down and respect certain parts of time. We did not want, and I did not want, to look at a program similar to Redflex, and this is not Redflex. We didn't put these in every neighborhood and every street to try to make a speed trap out of this city. This was an effort in our school zones during school zone hours, 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. This is not running all day. This is not 24/7, only during school, when school is in session. So what is it asking? 5 extra seconds of your time to slow down where people are picking up their children and dropping off their children at school. If you'd know the phone calls that I have taken, and I know the mayor's office has taken during that time in 2022, from people saying that I was going to allow people to get killed if I didn't do something about the people driving out of control in our school zones, you have no idea that these calls came in daily from school administrators, from the public, from parents, it came from everybody. The problem is that people develop these driving habits, so I came up with a proposal to the council that we would initiate a program from a company that did not have a reputation for money grabbing. And I'm gonna tell you, as I go on, well, as I go on, you'll understand that this company is what they say they are, because as I go on, you'll understand why I'm saying it. Because what Blue Line does and what their presentation does is that they have a 94% reduction in speedings within school zones within a year, because people start developing better driving habits and getting a ticket in the mail. People generally slow down. Then it's not because they're not making this money that you think that everybody's going to bring in. If you only 6% of the people speed from here on out, there's not enough money to go around to give to anybody to do it. But the car accidents and I mean, just in 2022 we had 262 hit and runs. I mean, the driving habits in the city is something that we needed to address. That's why this was proposed. So with this said, during the course of the last few days and over the weekend, the mayor and I had discussed some of the concerns about the warnings, and that the warnings didn't got appropriately, and did everybody know about it, and everybody know that this was in effect, and did we do a good job of advertising? Probably failed on some of those things. So we contacted Blue Line Solutions. What we have decided to do, that's okay. What we have decided to do along with Blue Line is we're going to initiate to where everything that's been issued at this point is a warning. So all the citations that have been issued. So if it's a money grab, well, I told you to understand before you frowned that Blue Line was in it for a money grab. Why would they give up the amount of money they would get from this round? No, because they didn't have to. We're contractually obligated. So they did it because it's not a money grab. It's about slowing people down and slowing driving habits down. I'm going to tell you that I've been around the school zone since this took effect and everybody's outrage happened, and I'm watching cars slow down. It's working. You have to give it an opportunity to let it protect the people that are coming in and out of those schools where people are picking up their children. So that's the part of that. Blue Line Solutions is a partner with us. They have allowed us to extend this warning period through when school goes in break. So it goes through the month of December all the way to January, that a warning ticket is in place. So let this be known that we're advertising now. Come January, when school gets back in, I think it's the 9th, if I'm not mistaken, 8th, January 8th.
What about if you paid it already?
To address that, you will get your payment back. You will get your payment back. Anybody that has paid their citation or mailed it in, one or two things will happen. If they did not endorse your check or whatever you sent, they will mail it back to you, and you will get with it a warning that it was moved to a warning. So anybody that has paid or mailed in payment, you will get reimbursed.
What do we do with the tickets we do have?
The tickets is a warning. You will get another mail out about the reference to those, whether it's 4 or 5 or whatever that number is. Whatever that number is, you will get a warning for each one of those. Now, again, on January 8th, it is in effect. It is a violation period. It is no longer a warning on January 8th. Everything to this point is a warning.
So the tickets we have right now, I can take it and tear it up?
Yes.
Okay, now.
Well,
I got another question.
Well, we'll hold on to that. But I just want to make sure we address that in the room, because look, the mayor felt really strongly about the fact that, and I felt the same way, that the warning period didn't extend the right way to give people warnings prior to when the citations went out. We want to be fair about what we're doing, and Blue Line felt the same way as us. Now, also with that is that we hear your voice, because the biggest topic, and I think everybody's talking about, is that digital sign. Here's the reason. That digital sign was purchased by Blue Line from a separate company. That is not their sign. They purchased it just like the state purchases those you see on the side of the road. But actually, the tuning forks are, we have put tuning forks on them. They are working properly. Here's the thing, though. Hear me out. Hear me out. These are analog radars inside of those signs. It is not connected to the LiDAR system that clocks you and shows you picture. That is a separate camera, separate radar altogether. The LiDAR is a laser. The LiDAR is what we use in our department. The radar itself, if you look, hold on. If you look on the top of the sign, there's a radar spot where the radar goes out. It is set to a spot. It can catch multiple cars at any given time. It is there as a deterrent. It's state regulated. They have to put it out. That's why it's there. But we are taking extra measures, because the mayor and I discussed it again today. We have assigned one of our radar instructors to go out and do a check monthly, probably multiple times a month. We're going to document that their system is working properly. I can tell you I've reviewed their certifications on their LiDAR. It is up to date just as ours is. Their LiDARs are calibrated. That's a fact. What they're talking about, it's not a calibration thing. When it starts up, it's going through a cycle. It would generally give an error if something pops up. That's what we're talking about, where it does a self-check. Everyone does that when you turn something on. It's like rebooting a computer. If it doesn't work properly, your computer's going to tell you that there's an error coming up. So that's the part of restarting their system. But their system is properly calibrated. And again, we're taking extra measures as a city to make sure that we're going to hold that company accountable for what equipment they put in our city to enforce. So what we're doing is that, like I said again, I've assigned our LiDAR instructor to check their equipment to make sure it's accurate monthly, probably multiple times a month. I'm probably going to do it. We're probably going to do it twice a month to make sure we do it both times. So that way we got it properly calibrated, properly working. We're going to do that along with Blue Line to make sure that they know we're performing a check, because what we're going to do is we're going to ride through it. We're going to have our LiDAR system and we're going to check it with theirs. If it all syncs together with the calibration certification, it's working properly. So that is what happening on two of your biggest concerns, which is the sign. The sign is a deterrent. They have to have it. It's state mandated. They have to have a sign that displays a sign as a deterrent prior to the enforcement area. But that radar is shooting out to an area, and like any handheld radar that's not LiDAR, you can catch multiple vehicles at any given time, because it's just a set spot. So you can have it bounce off two cars at one time and give you a bad reading. So that's why these things, but it is not in any way connected to their LiDAR system. The LiDAR is a completely different system altogether. That is not the same thing. I realize your concerns when you see 33, 34, yeah, I get it, but what car is it bouncing off of at that point? We're going to make sure that the LiDAR system is accountable for operations within the time zones that it has, and make sure it's operating with the calibration that it has. We have checked their certifications. They've sent that to us on every LiDAR that's in every box in this city. And all their radars are properly calibrated by state standards.
Do you understand what a malfunction is? Oh, a
Sure.
properly working
And
system
we'll talk about
and
that, but I want to make sure that I address the issues that came up during the course of this.
What about Bart's ticket? He wouldn't even drive his car. How can he give him a ticket?
Yeah, for real.
That's
For real.
says it's only good for one lane.
For real.
They're
You wouldn't even
ripping
drive.
him off.
You wouldn't even
How
drive.
much did all this cost?
One
How
at a
much
time,
did all
one at a
this
time.
cost as
And I'm glad you asked that question. That system called the city of New Iberia get taxpayers zero.
Worse, that's even worse.
Zero.
Where is the money coming from then?
The system is
It's free, so the company gave it to you free.
the company puts up the system to slow traffic down. That's what it is.
One at a time, please.
I'm Bart. I'm the guy recovering from heart surgery. The pictures are very, very similar, so my concern is, what stops them from sending me one in January with the same pictures?
Well, this is why, and I know that the council is going to address it tonight. The appeals process is being set up. That if you have that you're not driving, your vehicle's not being driven, and it was pictured, that's what the appeals process is for. It's just like if you feel a police officer does something that you feel wasn't right for you, you have a right to file an appeal or go and defend yourself. You have that right. So that's the next step. I'm sorry, Mayor.
No, I'm just gonna, real quick, if you'll let me, I'd like to address some of the issues. Number one, we know we have a speeding problem, but we also know we have a problem with our system, okay? We're not blind to that, okay? We hear the responses. I see Facebook like everybody else. I get phone calls, so does my council. We want to do something that works, but we want to address our issues. We realize we have issues. It was not easy to get it was not easy to get Blue Line to agree to this, okay? But they decided to be a partner and to work with us. And we were determined to do this either way. So the tickets start again in January 8th. Although we had a warning period, when we started realizing that people were getting warnings and tickets in the same day, it didn't make any sense. That's not what we thought we were getting. We plan on, I already kind of contacted today, I got to figure out how to pay for it, because the Blue Line system, they pay for the system. They invest in the system, they put it in. We do not spend any tax dollars. We are not going to spend any tax dollars. The issue of why did we not put a policeman? If I put a policeman, then they are pulled away from other issues and other crimes. But bigger than that, the ticket for the policeman is $350 because it's doubled in the school zone. It also goes on your insurance, okay? We thought as a council, as a chief, as the administration of the police department, we were better off that we took our forces, put them on other issues, got this company, and we only do it in the school zones. We're never going to go do like Lafayette and put speed cameras all over the place. That's not what we were trying to do. The school zones were our most vulnerable area, and we also thought that, look, the previous sheriff didn't do any tickets for 14 years. The PD's been back for 5, okay? We have not concentrated on tickets from the very beginning. I really don't like all of that. I don't think that that's I just don't feel it's right. So we said, well, we're going to do the school zones. I mean, people are going to get the message, and we'll correct some of our other driving habits. Because all of our wrecks for the last few years have been well over the national average. Plus, we're getting all these hit and runs. Plus, we're just getting it, we all drive terrible. We haven't had any enforcement. So we thought the school zones would wake people up, and we would slow down in a critical area. And this company brags on their success rate that as they go, they drop the speed. They make people slow down. I can tell you this week, especially this week, and really I got to thank every one of you, because you did more public outreach than we ever could have paid for, all right? So all that Facebook, all of that is not a bad thing. Coming here tonight is a great thing. This is local government at work. I mean, this is how it has to be. So what you've done, or what you've helped do, is get the word out, because people are crawling through the school zones now. It's a pretty good sight to see that people are going slow. I hate to have to put people through that to get to this point. We're planning on, I talked to the PR firm today, we're planning on putting little junior billboards up as fast as I can get them up to say it's active again on January 8th, but this is coming and it's a reality, so please slow down. I didn't budget any money grab, I didn't budget this money to do anything, because I was hoping, I never dreamed that we would, do you know that in 12 days it's 4,000 citations? But worse than that, the year before, how we picked the schools. We picked the schools because they came, they put the little cable across the road, we called it an armadillo, and they went to all the schools and set those out to decide which schools they would do, okay, because they couldn't do them all. In 5 days at Nish and Center Street, the total is 11,000 violations. Now, nobody knows that because you weren't getting a ticket back then. It was for them to count. But those 2 schools, there were 11,000 speeding incidents, all right? So we knew we had a problem. All right, and one of the problems is for 20 years, none of us, and me included, none of us have got any tickets because we haven't had any traffic. So if we do the school zones, we thought, I never dreamed we'd have this many. So I was thinking, well, the city might get $40,000, $50,000 a year. We'll buy a unit with it, or we'll buy a motorcycle so that we can start building our traffic division. I never dreamed we'd have 4,000 tickets in 12 days. That's ridiculous. So it's not a money grab, because if it works like it's supposed to, people will slow down and we won't have that revenue. I've been the mayor for 7 years, and I'm doing the best I can, and I got a great council, and we are working and we're making things happen. We're not going to get it completely right all the time, but I've been a business guy for 40 years. Okay, so guess which one I'm comfortable with. You don't ever fund anything on some money that's going to end up, that you want it to go down. You don't say that's my funding source, that a company's going to come in. It's common sense that if this works, our traffic tickets are going to be less. So we're not funding anything from that. We don't, we do have a tax for police. The community was gracious enough to support that. We are spending it on police. Is it tough to find officers? Yeah, we're short officers. We're not as short as many other communities. We've given 2 raises. We have new equipment. We are recruiting, and we're building back. The few officers that we're short, we have interviews set up, and we are getting responses, and we're hiring people. as soon as we can, at some point, we are going to put a traffic division together. But again, all I want is the crashes to stop. All I want is that we're very fortunate with the new businesses that have come, with the way we've run this like a business with this council, we make and do. So I don't really need this giant money grab. And you think I need, 4,000 people pissed? You think I need this room full of people? We're trying to do things where we are advancing our city. I'm not trying to tear it apart, and neither is this council. So we've had some missteps. We are fixing them. The $50, you brought up the $50 thing, and why would you have to pay $50 if you were right? It didn't make any sense to me. So that was easy. That one they went away pretty easy on. To get them to give up money was not easy, all right? But they have. So we hit the restart button. We also want to, at some point, we would like to talk and look at the council. I want to check our fees versus everybody else. So what we did was we looked. Some of these weren't online in 2022. If you look at the other communities, and one number is 10 and under, the next number is 10 and over. Shreveport's at 110 and 125. Karen Crow's at 188 and 212. St. Martinville's at 219 and 224. We're at 150 and 180, but we don't give any tickets for the 150 because we're supposed to be doing it for 10 miles and over because we wanted to have a grace period, a grace amount. So we're going to have a discussion, not tonight, but at the next meeting, we're going to have a discussion if we want to adjust these fees. Because again, it's not a money grab. What we're trying to do is get people to slow down. You all know our school zone hours. If you didn't, you know them now because many people were calling me that they didn't know they didn't know the school zone hours. All right. We will talk to the school board about the flashing lights because I have noticed at times you're still by law within the school zone. It is 7 to 9 and 2 to 4. But I do think they have to work on the timers on the flashing lights. We know we need better communication. What we're here tonight to do, why this is on the agenda, we're not going to have the police chief and we're not going to have the city prosecutor as the person you go to for your appeal. It says in our ordinance we can, and we're going to hire a private attorney. And we're going to get somebody, and you can go to the front building so you don't feel like a criminal that you're in my courtroom on the second floor as if you really did something wrong. And we're in the process of setting that up. That is not set up, okay? The link to pay your ticket is not set up. Because when we realized we had these warnings going out at the same time as the tickets, and we started looking at the community response, we knew we had a problem. So we said we're not going to set that up, and we're going to get with Blue Line, and we're going to figure out a way to hit a restart button. So that's, kind of what's been in brewing for a week and a half we've been working on this. It just took a while. We knew tonight we would put something on the agenda. We hoped a lot of people would come, and you didn't let us down. Let's see what else that I didn't hit. Just give me a second, please.
I think you hit them all.
I think I hit them all. But, the chief might have a few other ones, but I just kind of wanted to hit these points that why we're doing it, as the chief said, we knew we had a problem and we're trying to address it. So over the next few weeks, as far as we have to hold Blue Line accountable. We have a contract with them, so they are, just like any other contractor, they need to do what they say they're going to do. So the chief has some ways in place that we are going to continue to check. It is going to be often. We are going to have to check that often and make sure. I don't know what to do about the flashing sign. I realize it is a different kind of radar, and that is not what your ticket's based on. My question was, well, then just don't have it. Don't put it at all. If it, I can send people to the moon, but I can't make one radar and one LiDAR jive. So I'm not giving up on that one. That's the one that really pees me off. The other thing that I don't like is, I got a guy who had heart surgery, and I got a man, I don't know where he's at, who was pulling a cargo trailer. So we are definitely going to have a discussion with Blue Line, look into those issues, because there has to be, they can't come take advantage of us. I do want us to be able to slow down, and I do think that this is a viable solution if it's going to work right. If it's not going to work right, I'm going to document it. We got a contract. I'm pretty good at getting out of contracts when you don't do what you're supposed to do. So I think that this is an ongoing process, and we are taking a step back because we know that we have some issues. We think what we're doing is valid, but I do think we have to back up and make this right. So that's what we're working on. That's what we're trying to do. Chief, you got anything else?
No, I think one of the other things came up about why not some other schools like Center Street and Hopkins went up for a period of time, but it then got taken down. The reason why is, if anybody's familiar with the state of Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development, DOTD, they mandate what gets put, how it gets put, and they do their own study, and that is a process. When Blue Line put up the one on Hopkins, that is a state highway, DOTD told them to take it down. That is why those are not up. That has to get state approval before they get put on off of a state highway. So those are in the process, but that is why those are not up. We didn't pick and choose those things. Because Center Street, actually, I've gotten more complaints about people speeding on Center Street than any other place in the city. So, but that is why that one is not up.
Hey, I got a question. Why can't y'all retain officers?
We'll get at that.
I have,
That has nothing to do with speeding.
Yeah, it does.
No.
So just two things. Why shouldn't every speed zone have the same speed limit? Why North Lewis is 20 and this one's 35?
The state sets out, and that is something I want to address, because the other school's all 25. So in our process
It's 15
of,
by Peso.
what's that?
It's 15
Yeah,
by
we
Peso.
are trying, the state set those, and we are trying, I'd like them all to be 25.
We don't set them.
But we don't set them, so that is on my list to look into, because to me, they should all be the same.
And then the second thing, when you read online about these cameras, it says it's only able to record one lane. So we're recording two. So how you know what car?
That's not something that Blue Line has ever put out to us, and that's not something that they have, because if you look at the photos of your car, there's a circle. That circle is where that LiDAR hit your car.
But there's two cameras. There's two cameras. Is there two cameras?
I'm not sure what camera's in the box. I wasn't there for an installation. I know that a LiDAR a LiDAR is hitting direct towards, it's a beam. It's getting direct.
So if you coming like this, because I'm coming like
And now it's both directions. Now you have a camera inside the road.
okay, but if I'm coming off a parking lot, I'm not doing no miles. So if I'm coming off this parking lot and you hit me coming 25, it don't make no sense. It's picking up something else.
A LiDAR is directed towards a point.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah. But
I got a question. When is safe for the public to ride on Jefferson Township?
when is it safe?
For not to get a ticket?
Go to speed limit. I mean,
Well, you say you do 10 miles now, it go hit you doing 35. I mean, it's not programmed.
again, we're going to cross-check that to make sure the calibration is correct and the calibration is working properly. That's why I have one of my LiDAR. But that's why I have a LiDAR instructor going and cross-checking their system.
I have a small proposition for you, man.
Okay, well, let's get to the meeting.
Well, let me just say this. I heard you say that y'all are working on a traffic division. If the cameras do fail, I mean, I believe that y'all could possibly calibrate them right, but if the cameras do fail and y'all have to take them down, if there's going to be a period before the traffic division for the entire city is made, maybe you guys should hire maybe 2 or 3 cops to rotate a shift. Specific traffic cops without, before the whole division is made.
So, how much is this company actually getting off of these tickets?
Yeah, that wasn't addressed. How much they making? How much is the company making?
They're making off of the tickets. How much?
Is there a percentage?
There's a
The
percentage.
company gets 40%, and the city gets 60%.
So, if we up the tickets a little bit and we put an officer on duty, isn't that tax dollars too? If we put an officer on duty and we pay the full price of a ticket, then the tax dollars coming all the way to the city, everybody's getting else from us, and then the officer's spending money in the city too, like buying things.
Wait, I missed the
So
question.
if you employ an officer, correct?
Yeah.
And let's say the tickets are $200 a piece. Why does it have to go on our record as well when the camera does?
Understand it in a criminal matter, and I know
But
Mr.
if-
Barber
but
could go
that's
there.
the same as the
It is in a criminal case, the criminal part goes against your insurance. There's law specific. In a civil case, it doesn't go
Why
towards
can't
your
it be
record.
civil if it's just the same as the camera?
No, but it's a different proceeding. It's handled in two types of
They're
settings.
making 40% on it, right? The company's making 40% on the tickets?
Yes.
So if we employ an officer, the city gets 100% of the proceeds.
There's a breakdown. There's actually 10 different entities that get a percentage. There's 10 different entities that get.
Why?
It's state law.
Okay, so everybody gets a percentage, you got 10, so we get 10%, right?
I don't know how the percentages break down. The city court could tell you, but I know that there's 10 different entities that dig
But if
into
you're
any
saying
fine.
you employ officers,
This is why you're looking at, there might be in criminal court, your fine might be $150, but then when you tack on the additional cost mandated by the state, it goes up to $395. everything from 150 to 395 goes to 10 different entities.
I'm just trying to.
That's
figure
state
out-
mandated. In other words, the state might say, you gotta collect to the drug court fund, you gotta collect to this, you gotta collect to this. It's how it works, it's state law.
So you pay more for that ticket, much
And-
more.
and it reflects your record.
It adds to the insurance, and the insurance goes up.
We felt that it wasn't necessary to go after people's going after people's insurance rates. We wanted to stay away from that. The point of this whole program is not to hurt you personally, is to change driving behavior, so that way we can slow people down and what we feel is a vital part of our city, our school zones.
Okay.
During school zone hours. So that is where our full purpose and focus was, and still is at this time, is during that. We're not looking, it's not a thing where we're trying to give money to whatever it is. It's not about that. It's about changing driving behaviors to where we can get safety in the most vulnerable place in our city. And during those hours, it's not, I mean, if you want to talk grabs of money and all this, we could have just opened it up 8 hours a day during school days. We didn't, because that's not what it's about. It's about during the school zone hours when people primarily pick and drop off their kids. That's what it's about.
So what about when school's not happening? It's supposed to be-
It is not in effect. On Saturdays and Sundays and holidays, it's not in effect.
Why did some people say that they got tickets?
Some people have gotten tickets outside of school hours.
Only, I've looked at those. You see my name on them. It's during school hours. It's during school zone hours.
Why did they say?
If somebody has it, bring it to me.
And
I'm
we
telling you
are-
that it hasn't happened.
We
And-
will
and-
be addressing that with.
I mean, I've heard the things about 6 miles over and all that. You don't get tickets for 6 miles over. The 10's the threshold.
No, I mean, like, let's say a holiday during the week. When school's not in effect.
When school's not in effect, that camera does not enforce. Period.
It's off at night, huh? It's off at night, huh?
Yeah. No, it's not.
Yeah, like these tickets, like these tickets, well, we all receive. With the tickets we receive, we go pay our insurance, we do our insurance for our vehicle. That ain't gonna affect us saying,
No.
well, look, you got a ticket.
No.
And blah, 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 you need to.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's civil.
That's not what we were trying to do.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with this program.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief. We are gonna have to stop at some point because we have a meeting with a whole lot of other issues. Thank you, Chief. So now, we can do one of two things. Council can comment now, or we can move on with the item that addresses this and then have our comments then. So you can either comment now, or I'll just need a motion that we move and we are on still this item, we're just doing our business.
Motion that we move on and discuss it. 'cause we
So I have a
discussed it.
motion that we will discuss item 6C. Madam Clerk, want to read it? We're a little backwards, but we'll.
Introduction of ordinance number 2023-35, an ordinance amending sections 86-101 and 86-105 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of New Iberia relating to electronic traffic enforcement and setting for public hearing on January 3rd, 2023.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilman Marlon Lewis and a second by Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed. At this time, do we have discussion on this item?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Councilwoman Brooke Markcott.
first off, I know we didn't need this radar system to know that we have a speeding issue. You guys all get the complaints as well as I do. But we have it now, and we definitely see we have more of a problem than what we ever thought before. My only concern is the two gentlemen that came up here and said that their car was photographed twice.
Correct.
And it seems to be the exact same photo. That's something that we definitely need to address with Blue Line. We cannot have issues like that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we are doing this happy medium where we're going to discuss lowering the rates and giving people another month or so of warning and getting rid of these tickets that everyone has already received. I know that my driving habits have changed. Since these cameras went live, I make sure I pay attention, and so far, I've not received a ticket. So,
Yes, ma'am.
you know, it definitely gets your attention, and it makes you want to drive and do the right thing and be safe around school zones. But yeah, my only issue, like I said, is being photographed twice, and then, of course, the display sign. However, we can fix that, because that is really confusing a whole lot of people and causing a lot of issues for them. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mayor,
Marlon Lewis.
first of all, I want to thank all y'all for coming out and participating in the process. We've had a lot of issues in the city, a lot of things that we were able to celebrate, and, you know, tonight, we're glad to see y'all. Thank y'all for coming out and voice your opinions. I know for a fact, not one time when we talked about these cameras did money come up. Every single council person said, we have to stop the speeding. Not one person. You can go back and YouTube all of the meetings. I don't remember the date.
Yes.
Not one person talked about money. I didn't think about it. But thank y'all so much, because I learned a lot about the cameras. I'm glad I didn't get one. I learned a lot tonight. I think the chief and the mayor nailed it, and you guys really nailed it. Thank y'all. Next time we got some big stuff going on, we need y'all back over here to help us move this thing forward. Thank y'all, and Merry Christmas.
Thank y'all.
Each and every one of y'all have a good to bring up all the bad that we see on these cameras happening right now a little bit, if it is bad going on. And firsthand, I drove a school bus, and every day for 5 years, I turned down Jefferson Terrace. Listen, it's good. Eyewitness right here. They've had 60 to 80 kids, if not 100, leave school. No crosswalk. I talked to the mayor, we're gonna put a crosswalk. Somewhere along there, they're crossing, as you go from the school to Dale, 15 or 20 at a time, and one goes, you better watch, you got 8 right behind it. And they're going. I could have run over 6 or 8 easily. And it's bad. So that's why I voted to have these cameras come for the safety of the kids. And don't say none never got hit yet. Because when it does, we have a lot more people in here than you see now that we didn't do anything. So we didn't pay for these cameras. We didn't use citizens' money. It's free. Mr. Mayor, I'm glad you and Mr. Dalbor come up with a good thing about sabbatical on these tickets we're doing here now, for giving them as a grace period. January 8th. Let everything work good. We're going to check the caliber and all that, whatever y'all saying is right or wrong. I don't want a wrong ticket given to me on Saturday or during the day, you know. And I'm trying to bypass those areas. Bypass them when school's getting out. We don't need you down that road. So in a big way, you know, I'm getting old. I stay home a lot of times. That's not the time of the day I want to go.
Thank you, Mr. B.
But in a nice way, I want to thank y'all for coming. We heard you loudly. And clearly, we want to get it straight in the long run.
Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman.
So
Johnson.
I'm like Councilman Lewis and everybody else. I'm glad so many people came out to participate in the process. I hope you guys continue to come out and show us your support. I will tell you that prior to hearing all of the issues that you guys have talked about, pictures, you know, being the same picture, if you had talked to me earlier today, I would have told you that you're going to have to pay that ticket. And here's why. It's because I live on a street where there's a school. And every day, morning and afternoon, I see people speeding down Broussard Street like there's no school there. And I drive down that street 4 or 5 times a day, and I go that way. And when those lights are blinking, it's 15 miles per hour. I slow down. I did not get one single ticket, not even a warning. And it's because I watch people speed. And I've been here 3 years on this council. The second highest number of calls I get is about people speeding in New Iberia. People asking me to do something about the speeding. People asking us to talk to the chief about putting a cop near their neighborhood to slow down the speeders. We have a serious problem here. And I know there may be a problem with the machines, and we'll get that taken care of. But I'm going to ask you guys to spread the word, to slow down, not just in a school zone. Slow down on Main Street, St. Peter, Ann Street, Lombard Street, Anderson Street, all these different places where I get these phone calls all the time because people are speeding. So this isn't about money. This is about changing your behavior. And I promise you, if you guys change your behavior, you won't have to worry about a ticket, because this is out of control. Dale Street, I stay at the corner of Dale and Broussard. I watch people blow straight through that stop sign day in and day out. We have a problem.
People aren't at this meeting though, ma'am.
But you know, you don't know that.
No, I do.
You don't know that.
Ma'am,
But the
ma'am,
problem is,
there's no back and forth. The
problem-
public comment is done.
we have a problem.
problem.
We're trying to solve it because we're being asked by the citizens of New Iberia to solve this problem. And we started with the schools. So please understand, this is not about hurting anybody here, but it is about trying to change the behavior of the people that live in this city. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I have Neighborhood Watch every month for my district, and anybody is welcome to come. That is, speeding is the #1 thing that everyone says or talks about during the Neighborhood Watch meeting. In a neighborhood, down Caroline Street, down Evangeline, and it's really bad on Evangeline Street now because Jefferson Terrace is closed. So the same speed that they were going on Jefferson Terrace, now they're going down Evangeline like that. There is a serious speeding problem all over town. In my neighborhood on Sydney Street, one of my constituents complained about they go down, come down Bank Street, they turn on Robert S., and then they hit Sydney and fly all the way to Dale Street. So it's in neighborhoods also. Right now, we have speed bumps in the park. They're not there just to, to slow people down because it's the park. They're there, because kids are walking and all. And there was a speeding problem in the park, even though the speed limit is 15 miles an hour down there. So we need to change our behavior as a community and slow down. I was on Center Street in the school zone. I'm doing the speed limit in the school zone. People are just flying by me on the opposite side. Some people just have no sense of speed limits at all. And if they continue on January the 8th, then you're gonna have to pay the price for it. We have to keep our communities safe. I'm a speed bump person, even though our mayor doesn't wanna put speed bumps. Now that doesn't really, it's gonna be a little cost to us, but it doesn't take a person there to make you slow down. There's a sign. Now if you don't slow down for the speed bump, you break up your car, that's on you. Because there's a sign warning you about the speed bumps. So I'm a speed bump person for in the neighborhoods. Now in the school zones, that's totally different. And I'm all for the cameras. Just be more cognizant of how fast you're traveling. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas.
So, thanks everybody for the feedback, because that's the way government operates, is we need feedback and see how we can change things that will benefit the whole community as a whole. And this is one of the events that we've seen and we've heard, we feel the pain. But at the same time, decisions aren't easy. And I get calls of, hey, Mr. Gonsalas, can you call the police officer, they speed in my neighborhood? Sure, I'll call them out and we'll try to address that. So what's the difference if I got a call for speed in a neighborhood versus a school zone? We were presented with a problem. We looked at the ultimate solutions of how to correct that problem. This was one that came up. Do I like it? No, but what I've heard tonight is 99% of the complaints about equipment misfunctioning, the possibility of equipment function. Maybe one or two of you said they don't want speed cameras at all. Most of you said, hey, get the equipment right. We heard you. We're gonna make it right, because I'm the last one that wants to give a ticket for faulty equipment. That's not fair, that's not equitable. And that's why we put the appeal process in. And the other thing is, I've heard comments, well, if Mr. Gonsalas got a ticket, he might get it dropped or get it waived. This is a fair and equitable system. This system's electronically. If I get a ticket, I have to do just like each one of y'all, go in front of the appeal judge, plead my case. So there's nobody getting any favors. You speed, you broke the law. That's it, you broke the law. Go see the appeals court, see what they have to say, either waive the ticket, get it fixed, get it reduced, whatever, but take it as a warning. Can we just turn a blind eye as elected officials to say, you know what? Disobey the speed zone cameras. Break the law. Run 50 miles an hour in front of Nish, 60 miles an hour in front of North Lewis. No, we can't do that. We have to be proactive, not reactive. Because what's going to happen, somebody's going to get hurt again in a school zone. They're going to say, hey, city council, mayor, why didn't y'all do something about it? I got 3 children crippled, whether or not walk the rest of their life. No, we trying to be proactive. We trying to fix problems that we see foreseeable in the future to make this community safer. Yes, I hear your comments, a lot of unhappy people, and I agree. And most of it's because of the equipment. But I can assure you, from this council standpoint and the mayor, we're gonna fix the malfunctions and make sure it's right. If it's not right, like the mayor said, they're not gonna operate in the city. We're gonna make it right. So please, give me your patience. We're gonna work through this thing, and we're gonna get it right, and I'll make sure at the end of the day, we're gonna have safer school zone for our children. Thank you.
Anybody else comment on this item? Oh, I thought you wanted to comment. I was like, my clerk wants to comment? Right, right. Okay, well then if there's no other comment on this item, I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you. And again, thank all of you for coming. That's kind of the end of this issue for tonight. My city attorney has something to say.
Yeah, I just want to point out that the item on the agenda was a fix of some language in the ordinance dealing with the appeal process and things like that. So this is not the end of this discussion. It's not the end of the effort. It's not the end of what the council is going to do. So this was brought up because we needed to fix some language in the ordinance.
No.
But a lot more is going to be done.
And you see the vote was unanimous by my council, okay? And I can't vote or I would have too. So that, we're not done with this. And thank y'all again. Chief, thank you.
You want to take a break to clear the room maybe?
Yeah, we'll let everybody leave and then
Yes.
we'll handle the
We
rest
have
of
to
our
vote on a
business.
recess or no? We good?
No, we can just take a break.
I took mine already.
We're just taking a break. I think technically we're supposed to, but we're not.
Yeah, but we just,
You're supposed to have a motion to break.
Oh, no, thank you, man. Good to see you.
See you later, cuz.
whatever you, I don't know what your rule is, but
Well, I mean, I think it's more of a public, hearing thing, so.
let it roll.
Because it'll catch a lot of.
I'll watch my language.
Hi there. Can we change around, to move Brianna first?
We can ask.
Okay, we'll make a motion. Okay. Move her ahead of, yes, ma'am.
That's what you told me, guys.
No, that's not what I told you. No.
What it is?
Communities in schools with Iberia Parish School Board.
I'm sorry.
So, Amanda, we're actually gonna make a motion to put the Boys and Girls Club ahead of you because the kids need to get home. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
Oof, these people are a trip.
The camera on, the microphone on.
Huh?
The camera's on, the microphone's on. I don't know what you're saying, girl.
Oh.
All of them. Right here.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, man.
Hey, Freddie,
Same to you. What you doing for the holidays? What you doing for the holidays?
Oh, going to bed. All my family's in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
So we go over there for Christmas.
Cool.
Cool. Pack up and go.
I think they got a football game. I don't know if you're into it on Christmas Day.
I'm sure it'll be on TV.
Yeah, someday he's going to beat me on something, but let me tell you.
Hopefully not that day.
I'm going to have a hard time with that.
Come, we have a drink after.
I'll leave one.
Lewis Street and everyone says, get down, get down, get down.
Slow them down.
You break them up.
That must have been Dan's daughter that just kissed him. Huh? That was Dan's daughter that just kissed him? Okay. Thought he had got a white. Thought he had got a. Is the mic still on? It's still on camera. Hey, Chief.
I'm gonna be nice to you coming from the inside.
Okay.
Paul and,
Yes. I knew it was some shooting.
That's going on right now? No. Okay. What's going on right now? That's why I stood up. So I don't know, we'll find out more, but I know she did.
You just get it.
Right. Hey, bro.
Thanks for coming.
I know. The mic's on. The mic's on.
No, it hasn't started.
We'll be the call.
We gotta kill them.
Yes.
Hey, you better go kill that camera out there. Brett Lane's on there.
You know Bart Boy, the heart guy?
I believe him. He's pretty legit.
I believe him.
Yeah.
I know him well. I believe him. I don't think the man.
I see him all around the chamber.
So he worked for Tesh Federal, and then he worked for Iberia Bank, and then he retired. And he lives on Allen Street.
Okay.
And I don't think the guy can tell a solid guy.
I see him at all like the stuff like the chamber and games.
No, I know him.
Get the show on the road.
Well, and I'll look at it.
Don't let it happen again.
Sound.
No, we never really did. We just left the room.
We have a request. We're back in session. Never left. We have a request to bump up item 3B, if the council will consider that, because kids need to get home.
Yes.
So is there a motion?
I so move.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter, a second by Councilman Marlon Lewis to bring agenda item 3B right now. So y'all come on up. Wait, do we have to vote on that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
please vote your machines. Thank you. Come on up.
Y'all are so kind. Thank you. So my name is Bree Davis. I'm with Boys and Girls Club, and I am here today to let you know I'm excited to announce that we have been able to serve 71 members at the West End Park. We've been open for 4 months now. I brought a group of lovely ladies who want to share a bit more, but overall, throughout Iberia Parish, we've been able to serve 400 sharp months. 4 months, 71 kids. So we're looking forward to continue to see those numbers grow.
Awesome.
Great, that is good news.
Dear City Council members, I'm Kaylee. I'm Lyric. I'm Armani. I'm Lexi. And I'm Taylor. We want to thank you for your support and dedication to Boys and Girls Club members. We are part of the running club at Boys and Girls Club and want to thank you for the renovations to Bank Park and Weston. Now we can practice over the weekend when the club is closed. And my friends and I have a safe place to learn and grow after school.
You can hold it. You can just hold it.
This is all because of your
Drop the mic.
commitment to us.
Thank you.
Thank you and Merry Christmas.
Thank y'all. Merry Christmas. Good job. Bye.
Y'all
Thank
did an
you.
awesome job.
That y'all did. All right, now we'll
That's
try
when
to.
you know you made a difference.
Now try to get back to our regular agenda, okay? So,
Yeah.
Madam Clerk, item 2.
I was serious about that.
Acceptance of the minutes, regular meeting of December 5th, 2023, which were published on December 9th, 2023.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, second by Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed. Is there any discussion on our minutes from December 5th? Hearing, seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you very much. All right, Madam Clerk, item 3A.
Amanda Schroeder with Communities in Schools to address the council to discuss our partnership with the Iberia Parish School Board.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you all so much for having us tonight. I'm Amanda Schroeder. I'm the president of Communities and Schools of the Gulf South. I know y'all have had a really packed night, and so I had a presentation. I'm probably going to try and make it short and sweet for y'all today, but I really wanted to tell you about the great work our team is doing in your community. And so we are Communities and Schools of the Gulf South. We are a national nonprofit organization that works across the country in 3,270 different schools across the country, and we serve over 1.8 million students per year in the United States. Our mission is that we surround students with a community of support, empowering them to stay in school and achieve in life. And Communities in Schools is the #1 dropout prevention program in the country. Our efforts have been proven to not only decrease the rates of dropouts, but also increase the rates of on-time graduation for students. If you look specifically about our affiliate, which is CIS of the Gulf South. So as I said, we're part of a national organization, but we're CIS of the Gulf South, and we serve in 37 schools in the state of Louisiana. We employ 50 counselors and social workers. We provided last school year 2,382 students with case management, and over 14,100 students participated in some of our programs. And so I will talk a little bit about what those programs look like specifically and what we offer to students. But we have a model that is our model of integrated student supports. And you have a picture of our model in some of those documents, the little circle. This is what I'm kind of breeze through instead of going into detail of what we do in the schools. But we hire site coordinators, and these are our staff members that work, they're in one designated school in the community, in that school for the entire school year. All of our site coordinators are licensed mental health professionals, so they're either social workers or counselors. We like to say we hire social workers that can do counseling and counselors that can do social work inside the schools. When they go into a school, the first thing that they're doing is a needs assessment. So what are the gaps in services at that school? What are things that are going really well and how we can support that? And then they create a plan throughout the school year of what they're going to do in the school. But the core of our model is what we call integrated student supports. And in the state of Louisiana, sometimes people call it multi-tiered system of supports, but they're the same thing. We make sure that we're providing 3 tiers of support in the school. So we do our case management, which is our tier 3 services. So that's working with individual students that have needs. And so it can be anything from providing grief counseling, mental health counseling for individual students, students that maybe are living homeless or have basic needs such as food or shelter, or even uniforms and clothing. They might need clothing washed and things. We'll make sure that we're case managing those students, and we work with them for the entire school year to support those students with whatever barriers they have to their success in school. And then we also, what's really important is that we provide these other 2 levels of services. So we have our tier 1, which are our school-wide services. And so those are things that are open to the entire school. And so that's where we have our larger population of students that might participate. I think a easy example to think of how this works for us is if we're working on attendance in a school and a school is trying to move their average daily attendance and they want to improve that, we would do school-wide interventions as a tier 1. That might be some things like attendance attendance incentives for students. We might have like pizza parties. We might be doing and understanding that some of the biggest challenges we have is making sure parents understand how important it is for kids to attend school. So we might do some parent engagement, sending home newsletters to parents about the importance of attendance. And that would be our school-wide Tier 1 services. And then our Tier 2 services are more targeted. So if we go into a school and they know that usually the first grade might be a lot of kids that are absent. And so we want to really spend our time on working with the families that are the first grade parents, making sure they understand why it's so important that if their student's missing kindergarten, first grade, sometimes they think, well, that's not as important of years. But we know if they're not on reading level by third grade, their chances of dropping out of school are much more high. So we want to make sure that we're working with that one specific grade if that's what's decided to be targeted. And then obviously, as I said, our Tier 3 support. So we might have students that we know have missed 5, 10, some of them 30 to 40 days of school that year. And so we will case manage those students. We will do home visits, work with the families, find out what their barrier is and why they're not at school, and do what we can to remove those barriers for them. We also work very closely with the district attorney's office and FINS, so we make those referrals when we need to, and we collaborate with those different partnerships in the community. And so that's kind of what we do inside the school day to day. We have different services available, and they range from college and career prep to physical health, mental health, basic needs, a lot of behavior interventions, life skills, family engagement, and even academic assistance. But specifically in your community, we've been in Iberia Parish since 2018. We originally had conversations with the district back in 2016, and they really saw the value of having a CIS person inside their school to support their students. At that time, there was not any funding available. So we kept having continuing conversations. We applied for funding for different federal grants, and none of those came through, unfortunately. But in 2018, our national office put out a grant for 3 years to serve in new school districts. And so we served in 5 schools in Iberia Parish that year. So for 2018 to 2021, we had a 3-year grant that funded us in the school district. From 21 to 2024, as our grant ran out, obviously COVID hit, and that's when funding became available through ESSER funding through the state, the Department of Education. And we've been funded in the Iberia School District through ESSER for the past 3 years. After our 5 schools and our 3 years ended at the end of 2021, we had a conversation with the district. They had seen the impact of CIS in their schools. They had heard from families, heard from their staff, the administrators, of how important CIS was in those 5 schools, and decided to implement CIS in all of the schools in the district. So this year we're in 21 schools in the Iberia School District. We've been funded, as I said, through ESSER, but ESSER ends this year. And so one of our biggest concerns is, as this past school year, we case managed over 1,300 students in your community. We provided services to over 7,600 students. We employed 24 counselors and social workers, and we're currently serving in 21 school sites. Our future is unknown. And so we're looking for different opportunities and ways to receive funding to support us, whether it's at the same level, because that's really what the schools and we believe is needed here, but also if it means that we need to change and modify our services so that we're in fewer schools, but in targeted schools. And so we're really looking for advice, connections, and details on how to make that work, because we've seen the results of what we've been doing for these past years. We had, as I said, over 1,300 case-managed students. Of the students we served, 93% of them lived below the poverty line. 55% of them reported trauma. 9% of them were English language learners. And 5% of them are involved in the juvenile legal system. Services that we delivered last year, just so you have an idea of the different types of services, we did 37 homicide and suicide assessments, meaning students came to us that the staff referred for services because they believed they were either homicidal or suicidal, and our mental health professionals needed to address that in the school setting. We engaged 739 different parents. We provided over 1,180 hours of professional mental health services to your children. We also received, in partnership with some of our national organizations, over $50,000 worth of food donations that went directly to kids. We've now made partnerships to have school food pantries at some of the schools, which will now continue past this year and continue with Second Harvest to complete that and make sure that children and family have that food when it's needed. We also received provided over $25,000 in basic needs and school supplies to children. We did attendance incentives with collaboration with the DA's office. We actually today came up and brought holiday gifts. We have at least, I think, 80 students were sponsored so that those children will receive holiday gifts this year. We have donations, we wrapped them all, and then we'll bring them to the families so that they can give them and those families can actually have a Christmas this year and be able to celebrate like the rest of us. We also continue to do positive behavior interventions, supports inside the schools as well. And when I talk about the different students we've served, we see that they have a lot of problems, right? That living in the poverty, having trauma, and all of those barriers that they have, and the how that can impact their daily life, how can it impact how they show up to school every day. But our kids were still succeeding. So last year, 92% of the children that were case managed promoted or graduated. When we look at the district statistics, their students are graduating and promoting at a level of 83%. So we're about 9% higher with our case managed students, which we know are the students that are most in need, that have the most barriers. And so when they have the support of a site coordinator in their life every day, case managing them, we've seen the results that have shown that they've been able to promote or graduate. 85% of our students improved in their attendance, 77% improved in well-being, and 87% improved in behavior. And so those data points really show why it's so important for us to continue to be able to serve in this community, and we believe that your students really deserve that. And the last thing that I had was just a little bit of the information of how the funding works. So as I said before, we've received grant funding and ESSER funding for the past three years. The model of CIS Gulf South is that it costs $95,000 per school site for each individual staff member in the school. Usually, with our affiliate, the district funds 75% of that cost, and then our organization raises the additional 25% to sustain the model in the community. So if we look at that, Iberia Parish has 23 schools times $95,000 per school. The total that they would need would be $2.185 million to sustain us. What the cost that we would put to the district would be $1.6 million, a little over $1.6 million. So our understanding is that the district does not have that kind of funding. It's not going to be something that's available. They're looking to put some funds behind CIS because they believe in us, but we've tried everything and we're having struggles to find where those dollars are going to come for the future. So we are looking to hopefully over the next couple of years find federal funding that could sustain us, and also other places. When you look at CIS affiliates around the country, they receive federal funding, state and local funding, obviously family foundations, larger foundations, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency, Department of Health and Human Services, and TANF, and many other ways. So we're looking for ideas of how do we continue to sustain this at the level that we are and make sure that we're returning on the investment that the school district has put into our staff that are working in the schools. So I want to thank you all so much. Kind of ran through that, but if there are any questions or details or anybody would like to hear any more, happy to have a second for that.
You got your act together. Any comments or questions?
So I would say that Communities in Schools is a really worthwhile organization, and they've helped a lot of our kids, and they've kept a lot of our kids out of trouble. And so as people listen to the stats that Amanda shared with us, I hope that some of the people in the community will try and figure out ways to maybe even donate to Communities in Schools, because they can use some additional funding to continue helping our kids. They're helping the most vulnerable in our community. They send kids home with food because some of these kids aren't eating. They wash their clothes. They do anything they need to make sure that these kids can succeed in school. So it's something that, every resident can get behind. And so what we're hoping is that we'll generate some funds from the city of New Iberia to help Communities in Schools continue their work in our community.
And just to add to, part of our our model is to make sure that we're partnering with the community. And so I was really excited when Boys and Girls Club was talking right before me. We were just talking, she's partnered with 2 of our schools previously, and when they needed some support, CIS was able to be there and support them. And so looking to make sure whatever is already happening in the community, that we're making, to do our best to even improve on that, and making sure that kids are connected. So when they're connected with CIS, are they connected with after-school programs, and how do we all continue to work together and collaborate? And so that's something that's really valuable for our team as well.
Yes, sir.
So, we often talk about, schools are the building blocks for our communities, and this is essential to building blocks because we know that getting to kids at those early ages is going to make a difference on a long term for all of us in the future. So it behoves me that, we need to address trying to work towards an effort to try to get some funding to sustain you guys in the schools, because just a little bit I know and reading about it, y'all do make a big difference. And thank you.
Definitely. Yes, ma'am.
I want to thank you and Ms. Didi. Ms. Didi invited me to a meeting with Amanda. That's how I found out about communities in school. Never heard of it before. And they do a lot of good work in the schools, and I appreciate it. You're here to basically just kind of make yourself known on a broader spectrum, because if I didn't know, how many other people don't know? Because I feel like, I know a good bit of stuff, and not everything. But usually I'm pretty aware of things going on in the school. So I was surprised to hear about you guys, and that I had no clue.
We work quietly behind the scenes in what we need to do. And I think our value is that we spend our money directly on the kids and the students that we serve. But we do need to do a better job of helping to publicize, because we are in all of the schools and we have been serving all of these students. And I think a lot of people don't recognize, and especially because the value that the district has put behind CIS too. So we're excited when we have that opportunity, and especially excited to come here tonight to be able to talk to y'all.
And now you guys need funding. So you guys need to let everybody know what you guys have been doing all these years, so that people are more willing to donate. Now, if maybe someone in the community wants to donate to communities in school, how would they go about doing that? Would they just reach out to you?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I have provided a PowerPoint. My contact information is there. Y'all have folders. My business card is there, so they could definitely just contact me directly.
Okay. We have the PowerPoint up here that Lainey could get to, maybe, so that the camera can show it, just for the public. There, her contact information, in case anyone wants to donate. And, you have the city, you have the parish, and you have the school board. All those schools are tied into all those entities, so hopefully we can figure something out. Thank you.
Amanda, when are y'all funding ends? This 23?
June 30th.
Oh, June 30th, 24. So y'all go into next year's school year?
Yes.
Okay.
No, we're not going into next school year. We'll still be in January. We're going to finish out this school year.
Okay.
The idea is we're working on funding opportunities for this next year.
Okay.
We have a longer term plan that we're working on for the state to do some funding that could actually sustain us longer term, but that's not going to come through for another year or two. So really, we're looking at how do we get through this gap year.
So some short-term funding, some gap money. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You did a really good job explaining it. I'm gonna go back and read more on it. We have a program that in Iberia Parish called the Buddies Program. You familiar with the Buddies Program? Yeah, and some of us up here have been mentors for the Buddies Program. You guys take it to another level. We've been asked to, buy underclothes and, socks and stuff while we're going mentor. Our thing is basically just going talk and stuff. Y'all taking it to another level, and I appreciate that. I'm gonna go through this and see what I can do to help, because this is awesome. And Mayor Pro Tem Gonsolin said that, education is, is the building block to our future, and we got to start somewhere. Thank y'all for what y'all do. I didn't know this existed.
And thank you for what you're doing with the Buddies program too. And so definitely, like, one of the things that we need to do better, and that we're hoping to be able to do if we can stay and increase, is when programs like that are working in the community, making sure that if y'all are going out and if you're a mentor and you need some support, we've got CIS in the schools and we can help with that support. And so if you know that this family is a family in need, maybe they haven't contacted their site coordinator to tell them that, because a lot of times, parents they want to keep that private. But if someone else knows, then we can take referrals from anywhere and make sure that we're able to provide that support too.
I just want to clear one thing up. I haven't been in the Buddies Program this year. and Mr. Small gonna watch the meet, and he fuss at me.
He's coming.
And we just talked yesterday. And he asked me if I was gonna start in January. I said, Mr. Small, I'd rather tell you the truth and have you fuss at me than me lie to you and you come back and beat me up.
But
So I'm coming back,
And mentoring
buddies.
is so important and something that we definitely have done in our schools, and we believe in it. But I think that that's really important, that we want to make sure that mentors are going to be able to be there long-term. And if you can't dedicate your time long-term, like, I think that's the responsible thing to do, because we don't want people to walk in a kid's life and walk out too. So you did the right thing, thinking about your timing.
Yes, ma'am.
Question, in Iberia Parish, are all the schools, tier one,
I'm sorry.
the school-wide services?
Yeah, so every school we require that our staff are doing 4 tier 1 services per year in a school. And so that, most of our staff are doing like 11 to 12 tier 1 services per school year in each school, but there's a minimum of at least 4 that they're required to do, so that they're doing something to support all of the students in the school at least 4 times.
Okay.
Thank you. You've done a great job explaining what you do, and, you know, we get a much bigger global picture of all the kids you touch and help. We are all talking amongst ourselves, and I can tell you, we will look to see, you know, where we might be able to help, and for sure to spread the word of what you do. You know, we invested about $285,000 into the Boys and Girls Club, gave them that space, did the renovations. We know that you have to catch kids early. We know that we unfortunately have areas of our population, you know, 25% of our population lives below the poverty line in New Iberia. We have many more that are poor. We understand that, you know, the areas we need to reach kids at an early age and how much difference that can make. And, you know, just looking at what you do and understanding the work you do in our schools, I think it's really important. And like I said, you did a great job of explaining it. I didn't realize how much that y'all really did. So we'll be looking for ways to help, and I'm sure this won't be our last conversation.
Thank you all so much. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Sorry it took a little bit longer than I
Well,
anticipated.
sorry you had to wait so
I
long.
appreciate
but-
y'all doing all that you do, so thank you so much.
Thank you
y'all.
for coming, Amanda.
Madam Clerk, item 3C.
Justin Swear to address the council.
Bro, your audience left. What's the deal, man? What's the deal? I thought they were here for you.
Everybody offered the jacket, so I figured.
I don't know. I thought they were here for you.
I feel like the price is right. Thanks, Bob.
Come on down.
That's it.
Yeah, so I'm here tonight to address you guys for the last time. It's emotional. It's bittersweet. I decided to put my name in the hat for parish council, and lo and behold, I went unopposed, and bam, it all just worked out. But at the same time, I was leaving this room.
Third time.
Thanks for pointing that out. I know. Yeah, you jealous?
No.
So I wanted to address you guys personally. I mean, look, and I always say it, we're very successful as a city because of the council that there are times when we disagree with each other, but every single time when it comes back up to the table as the next agenda item, there's no animosity, there's no disrespect in any way, and I think that's why we've been so successful all these years. And I pray and I hope it continues, and I know it will. I got involved in 2016, I believe at the same time the mayor, Marlo, Mr. Broussard, Ms. Deidre. At a time it was a big tipping point. You know, there was a lot of changes that need to be made, and as a father, as a young father, I was actually expecting it at that time, and Wyatt, lo and behold, is 7 years old right now. So that's one of the reasons why I got involved. You know, I always, as a youngster, wanted to stay involved in the community, never wanted to leave. A lot of my friends left. They went to Youngsville, they went to Broussard, they went to Lafayette. They're gone. I can't convince them to come back. But my biggest thing is I want to keep my kids here. Together, my fiance and I, she's in the back of the room now. I know she doesn't like to be put on the spotlight, but we raised 4 kids. You know, 2 girls, 2 boys. So we like the Brady Bunch, in a way. But we both are very rooted deep in our community, and we want our kids to do the same. I won't blame them if ever they get older. Look, I don't know what they're going to do in their teens or 20s or whatever. They want to leave. That's their decision to make. But I want to be able to give them the best option to say, why would you leave? This is what you have. Why would you leave from this? And maybe it might work out. So, like I said, I think the last time I spoke at this podium was 2016, I'll be honestly. And I said it, my roots are deep. My roots are very deep. Romero's is where I come from. One of the founding fathers of this community. And I live and breathe by it. My roots are just as deep as the oak trees lined up along the Tesh. I'm not going anywhere. And that's one thing, I don't make many promises, but that's one thing I do make a promise on. I'm not going far. I'm only going right up the street. Bigger room, different arena, with the same momentum going forward. And I hope that when I do get there and whoever, we all can still work together as a group to really keep Iberia and Iberia Parish running in the right direction. So I want to thank my mom and dad here. They're here tonight. They're the reason why I am who I am today. And I thank them every day for that. So other than that, I wish you all well. I know it was short serve with Brooke and Ricky and Miss Dee Dee, but I enjoyed it. And I'm sure we'll be seeing each other again soon. So other than that, that's all I have to say tonight. So I want to thank all of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is your cell phone changing since you're moving down the road? No?
It's actually still an Abbeville number, so. No, that's it.
Well, you're going to
Same
be our
cell
new
number.
contact on the parish
That's
council.
it. That's it.
When I need something, I know who to call.
Look me up, you're gonna find me.
Thank you, Dustin. Been a pleasure to serve with you for 7 years, and I feel that we've gotten a lot done. We losing a team member, but we know where you at, so we know we'll be talking. Thank you.
306 McElhenney.
That's it. And the courthouse, right over there on Iberia Street. Anybody else?
I just want to thank his mom and dad. Y'all raised a fine young man. I said I was going to pick a fight with him on the last meeting, but it's hard to do. Me and Dustin got along for the whole 7 years.
Yep.
For the whole 7 years. Yep, so. Yes, ma'am. And we done. Great job for this city. We done a lot. I'm going to go there real quick. And this is to Dustin. Dustin is a registered Republican.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a registered Democrat. Mm-hmm. We never had that issue on this council.
Nope.
Local politics are not partisan. They're people-based.
That's exactly
And
right.
Dustin has done a great job helping us serve these people in this community. Thank y'all, fiance. Thank y'all for supporting him.
Thank you for saying that.
And good luck, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'll be there.
No fights here.
No fights.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
And we moving on, item 4A.
You should go first today.
Ordinance number 2023-32, an ordinance amending section 2-26 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of New Iberia in order to amend the rules of procedure of the Board of Trustees related to the American with Disabilities Act.
I need a motion to open this public hearing.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte and a second by Councilwoman Dee Dee Johnson-Reed. Is there anyone from the public to discuss this item? We have almost any public left.
We had them. We didn't keep it.
Then I would need.
You see Craig get up?
I did. I need a motion to close our public hearing.
Motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas and Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Now I need a motion for the main motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte, second by Councilwoman Dee Dee Johnson-Reed. Any discussion on this item? Hearing and seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you very much. 4B.
Special ordinance number 2023-2024-10, an ordinance amending the budget to recognize New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Grant.
I need a motion to open our public hearing.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Marlon Lewis, a second by Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Anyone from the public here to comment? I need a motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte, Councilwoman Dee Dee Johnson-Reed. Now I need a main motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte and Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing and seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you very much. 4C, Madam Clerk.
Special ordinance number 2023-2024-11, an ordinance amending the budget to reflect remaining budget on the City Park and Weston Park Community Center Improvements Project, FPNC number 50-ML1-20-02.
I need a motion to open this public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Marlon Lewis, Councilman Brooke Marcotte. Anyone from the public? Going once, going twice? I need a motion to close.
Motion.
Councilman D. Johnson Reed, Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Now, we on to the main motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte, and who was the second? Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter. Thank you. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing seen none, please vote your machines. Thank you very much. 4D.
Special ordinance number 2023-2024-12, an ordinance amending the budget to reflect CLECO franchise agreement.
I need a motion to open this public hearing.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas and Councilman Dustin Swear. Anyone from the public? Hearing seen none, motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman D. Johnson Reed, Councilman Dustin Swear. Now we need a motion on the main motion.
Move.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, Councilman Marlon Lewis. Any discussion on this item? Please vote your machines. Thank you, thank you. Item 5A.
Come on, Freddie.
Resolution number 23-194, a resolution approving change order number 1 for the Sucrose Drive Backflow Preventer Project and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
Second.
Councilman David Broussard, Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Any discussion on this item?
So they're
Greg, you
adding
want to come
contract
up
dates?
and tell us about it?
Yeah.
We gotta break him in. We're giving you an easy one tonight. We gotta break you in.
Not gonna lie, when I got here, I was a little intimidated, but this is my kind of crowd.
Dang, you that weak?
But good evening, council and mayor. So this change order, when the contractor started digging, we found out that what was on the plans wasn't actually in the ground. So we had to, it took away some contract days from the contractor. And there was a 4x8 reducer that showed some wear that they suggested we replace. I'm in agreement with them, but that's about it.
Okay.
Questions, comments?
So the port's gonna attach to the back door there? The new
Yes,
part? Okay. So it's an addition.
So I'm assuming that you're gonna update the plan so that,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Well, he believes in as-built.
It caused a lot of headache.
yeah.
That it did.
Okay.
Good. If there's no other discussion, please vote your machines. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
5B.
Resolution number 23-195, a resolution awarding contract to Southern Force Heating and Cooling LLC for the Weston Park Air Conditioning Upgrades Project and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Councilman Marl Lewis, Councilman D. Johnson Reed. Is there any discussion?
Once again, I guess I'm just always concerned when I see such a huge gap between the two bids. Is
We
there,
had two bids. One other person didn't bid. We had someone else who actually put a bid together and then realized they couldn't bid the job, and they were actually cheaper. So I feel pretty good that we only had two people that turned bids in. And when people, I hate to say it, I've been a contractor for 40 years, there are times that people see one or two bids, they're busy, they just throw a price. I feel comfortable, these people have done work for us before. Just to tell the public, this is a $104,000 investment at the West End, and this would be the last piece to give us a completely new air conditioning system. But I feel comfortable, they are comfortable with their price, and they've worked for us before. I know the company, I feel pretty good.
okay, I mean, I'm just,
No, and
that
we,
always
and we
makes some
have this
concern, yeah.
discussion
Every time.
often, and many times we go through and we don't have an issue. But I mean, the construction world, and it depends on where work is, who's busy, who's not busy. But I think this is a good price. Our budget was 100, and our budget was set with me talking to an engineer and to a contractor.
Okay.
So our budget was 100. Well, this is 104. I feel very comfortable with that.
okay.
Good. Anybody else?
Yeah, Mayor, I just, because I'm learning on the job about construction and bidding, because I got a few things I want to do later on, but I always was taught when they bid that high, they don't want the job, but if you give it to them, we'll take the money.
Then that, many instances, is the
That's what I
case.
was-
But I've also seen in situations where you get what you pay for. lower bidder they aren't able to complete the work, and you get change order after change order after change order, and then in the end, you're right back at the same price.
Okay.
So it could go
okay.
either way.
It could.
It could.
But in our 7 years, we haven't had that happen very often.
But we've had
some change orders.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
But some things,
So,
you know.
again, I'm just, when I see a huge gap between
Nothing wrong with
bids,
asking. Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're sure,
Understand.
because
If my budget had
it could
been,
go either way.
the other bid was 175,000, I think.
Yes.
If my budget had been 175,000, I would definitely be, leery. But, looking at it, and that's my background. So I mean, the 100 works. So I feel pretty good about it. I
Okay.
can just say that I think the other good contractor, I'm sure, but the other price in this instance was, just way off.
If we get a change order, I won't even say anything.
Well, lady, write that down. Does that count for
Put
more
that on
than,
record.
does that count for more than
That's
one?
on camera.
Just this particular issue.
Okay,
Let's
thank
get
you
that
for
straight.
clarifying. Anybody else? Then I'd ask you please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. 5C.
Resolution number 23-196, a resolution authorizing the mayor to negotiate and execute a contract with Staples Engineering and Consulting, LLC, for the Pepperplex Private Road Project, and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion. Move. Motion by Councilman David Broussard and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Any discussion on this item?
So we're just setting the time that they're going to spend on the board, their term. And it looks like we have 2 vacant positions. Are we looking for 2 people?
No, ma'am. We're on the item ahead of that, which is the Pepperplex Engineering for
Oh,
the
sorry.
private road.
I
Oh, no
turned too
problem.
many pages.
No problem.
I apologize.
Hey, it's usually me. Yeah, it's usually me.
Okay, wait a minute. What's my question here? I don't have my glasses on. Oh,
Just have a question.
no, I mean.
I'm picking on you.
I wrote a question.
Borrow Jeff.
No, I think I can read it. Go ahead, Freddie, finish saying what you're saying. Did you finish reading it? I
Yeah,
interrupted.
this is where we're hiring Chandler Staples to put in the limestone road that will exit the new property that we purchased for the Pepperplex to get us out to Queen City so that we're at the light.
Okay, so is this 35,000 or 3,500?
3,500, ma'am.
Okay, because it looks, I mean, it's an extra zero, so I thought maybe we had made a mistake.
Ooh, you get the mind check.
3,500.
But if you look at the.
It is an extra zero.
It is?
There's an
Okay.
extra zero, so I thought, well, maybe
No, but it's
the
35.
comma's in the wrong
The comma's
place.
in the right, the comma's in the right place.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I'm just asking.
Well, thank you. No, it's
Just an extra
3,500.
zero.
Okay.
Which is a very economical. He does a lot of work for us. He really believes in the Pepperplex. I brought him out there. At first he was like, "I'll just do it for free," and I said, "No, I don't want it for free. We have to pay you." So he is really cutting us some slack. He will have some big box culverts to design, plus the road bed. We now own the property. It won't be long. Public Works will be going out there. They're going to do the site clearing, bring a bulldozer and clean up the site. This allows him to start the engineering and then to put out the bid packet so that we can actually get the road installed. We are trying to, I don't really have a deadline, but then I do because it won't be long. By the spring, we are going to begin hosting tournaments. So I really want to get this done, but I think it's a really good price to do the engineering, and we're going to get it going.
That's fine. I didn't know if it was, the comma was in the wrong place. or
Yeah,
the
no, that's
extra
fine.
zero.
That's fine. And it could have been. I mean, for the size
Yeah.
job it is, it really it shouldn't have been 35,000. I hope Chandler's not watching, but it should have been more than 3,500. Okay, so you're not wrong in asking. Anybody else?
Can I vote on this or no?
I wouldn't.
The,
I don't think so, bro.
That is so rude.
I know, but you got on a board that's out there. You're on a board.
Abstain.
So I think you have to abstain.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't, and
Yes.
we just don't want you to get in trouble. I mean, you don't need an ethics violation when you're just trying to do good. You're trying to do good in more than one area. You're on a board, you're serving on the board, you're serving on the council. The best thing to do is just abstain,
Okay,
because I don't think you want an ethics violation.
I don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
And just remember, your service on the board is almost better than the vote, because you got the votes.
Thankfully.
That's funny.
I'm just saying.
Thankfully.
Yep.
Okay.
Anybody else? Then please vote your machines. Thank you all very much.
Y'all love the Pepperplex.
5D.
Resolution number 23-197, a resolution correcting the terms for the Parks and Recreation Commission.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman D. Johnson Reed, Councilwoman Brooke Markcott. Now we can have some discussion.
So, can I ask, you mind if I ask my question? Okay,
No,
so.
no, not at all.
We're correcting the terms for each person, and are we looking for two people? I see there's two vacant
Yes, we
slots.
are looking for two people. What we're gonna start doing is bringing, Laney is working on all our boards and commissions.
Okay.
Over time, we're gonna start bringing each one and kind of say, hey, there's an opening. Sometime it won't be an opening. Sometime it might just be to adjust the terms, but we are beginning to look at all of them, and we'll start bringing them, I guess, a little bit at a time. I thought that was the best way to do it, just as they come up, or if we see something that has not been filled, we're gonna bring it.
So are we advertising? Or just, because we had talked about doing some more marketing
This is
around
the
this.
first step. So after we vote on this, then we're gonna have to put it out there and put it on Facebook, get it in social media, kind of start using more of the tools we have to fill these, to try to fill these positions.
And is there any requirements for the board? Do you know if there's any, 'cause I mean,
You gotta live here.
other than to live in the city?
All of them are different. I think
Okay.
we'll have to look at each one. As they come up, we'll correct their terms, and
Okay.
then when we publicize, we'll, of course, put the requirements on. But I do
Okay.
know they're kind of different. Some have a radius, some have you live in town, some have.
Yeah, it's a city board, it's in the code of ordinances.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's a residency requirement in
This one,
districts.
I really
or-
don't know. I'm not positive.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If I may, I served on this board.
Yeah.
And I think each member lives in the council person's district. They got 6 members.
Okay.
I think each member lives in the council person's district.
All right. I did remember you had to live in town, but that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
Do we know which
Because I
districts are
designated
represented?
Warren White, I'll talk to him about him and got him on. Yeah.
Same here.
Can we find out which districts are
Sure,
represented? So
sure.
we'll know if our
Know what we're
district has a
looking for.
vacant?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, not a problem.
Vacancy.
Not a problem.
Question?
Yes, ma'am.
Are they gonna, when we really go full force into this with all the boards, are they gonna be able to apply online?
I don't see why not. Madam Clerk, you see a problem with that? We might have to set it up.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
so
talking
it's
about.
not set up yet, but
Yeah.
I do see the wisdom in that. I mean, that's the world. And remember, if they get appointed, they
Yeah,
gotta
for
come to the
sure.
meeting.
Right. And so when they submit, that email should go back to them saying, if you're
If you're
selected, you have.
selected, you need to come to the meeting. Yes, definitely. That's why I brought it up. Yes, sir.
Do we keep track of attendance?
There are requirements in some boards. If you don't attend, you can have an issue. I think the boards keep track of it.
They do, they
But-
should.
And
They
the
should be
council
telling
makes,
us
the
if
council
they-
has the final say-so over removing that person. Is that how it works? I thought, because we ran into this issue.
Well, they're
Years
all
back.
different, but we end up that the boards end up over here, and maybe sometimes they ask them to leave or whatever, but if they appeal, they come to us.
Okay.
But in some cases,
Some
you're the
places,
decision maker.
Some cases, I'm the decision maker. Some cases, I think the council is the last
Mm-hmm.
say. And they're all set up different.
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
One more thing, and I'm just giving y'all because I served on this
Yeah,
board.
no, I know, and I appreciate that.
This board isn't budgetary though.
Nope.
Parks and Recreation Board isn't budgetary. It's mostly
it's advisory.
information and advisory.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was budgetary at one point,
It was.
but y'all redid the rules. Yeah.
I don't know if we did it. I think the council before us did it.
Well, the council did.
The council
did. Yeah, and look at the code of ordinances on my phone. And it says that 7 members, it says. So, do we have 6 here?
Well,
We have 6.
6 districts, but
Yeah.
I think, is it the mayor's ex officio?
The mayor's ex officio, the superintendent's ex officio, the other 7 members shall be appointed by the mayor with the approval of the city council for staggered terms of 5 years. So,
Okay.
that's what the code says. It's
And when we get applications, I'll be bringing them to you.
62-27, yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
One more comment.
Yeah, oh,
And Jeff,
sure.
it probably wasn't per district, but the mayor at the time probably said, won't each council member get somebody from your district?
I don't see that it's per district.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It probably
Yeah.
wasn't, and. Mayor said,
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. If there's no other discussion, please vote your machines. Thank y'all. 6A.
Introduction of ordinance number 2023-33, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to negotiate and execute an agreement by and between the City of New Iberia and CSG Forte Payments Incorporated for online payment processing and setting for public hearing on January 3rd, 2023.
I need a motion.
Move.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, Councilwoman D. Johnson Reed. Fortnite is the payment company, online payment processing that is going to go with our new program for the Pepperplex and the parks that are sharing the program that will book all of our tournaments, book all of our rentals of our fields. So we have to take this step, and it's here because I have to sign a contract. So anytime I have to sign a contract, this is a 5-year contract. I need to bring it, to get it approved. But it's a kind of a key part that we can't start renting and we can't start booking tournaments till I have this. So I was ready to rush it, but then I was advised that and it was the truth. I mean, by the charter, anything over 23 months has to come to the council. But this is what I need to put the gas on as fast as I can because it is holding us up in beginning to book fields and book things at the Pepperplex.
Okay, so I have some
comments?
questions.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I read through this contract, and a couple of things that seem strange to me is they spell out the fact that we cannot resell our data, but they don't spell out that they won't.
Right.
And so that's one, a concern, because, they're going to make money off that data, and this is our people's data. I don't like that in there. The second thing is that they have a termination clause that protects them, but there's no termination clause that really protects us other than if there is some sort of material breach.
Right.
So there's nothing else that's actually protecting us as, the city. And the other thing is that there is nothing that protects us if they're hacked. If they're hacked and our PII is taken, there's nothing that's protecting us. So, I had my IT hat on, and so these are concerns of mine. It's things that we need to think about, because I feel like this is written, and obviously every contract,
It's
they
written
write
in their
it
favor.
to protect them, right? But we
It's-
want to make sure that
Right.
we're protected as well. So, and there's no warranty on services either. Those are some things I think we should think about. Most people don't, especially in IT. I say that knowing Vince is next.
Who's been waiting all night?
I know. But most of the time when people give you a contract like this, they expect you to come back with some changes. I think we ought to redline this and ask for them to not to be able to sell our data either. And that we're protected somehow, or they will pay for some sort of protection for our people if they're hacked on their side, not on our side, they're hacked. That just like with all these other companies, they pay to give you a year of protection with some of these companies. I think they ought to guarantee our people that if they're hacked. That's just my thoughts.
Well, Civic Rec, and I have no problem trying, we're gonna have to try quickly. Civic Rec only uses this company. Because when we read the contract, it was like, man, this is, it's a hefty contract. But Civic Rec is at every ballpark, and it's who we have to use if we're gonna compete in the tournament world. So I asked if there were other choices, to be honest with you, and they were like, no, this is the only payment process and the only ones we use. So I don't mind that we redline it, and send it back and see what we get, but I do know, one, I'm under the gun of a time constraint, and number two, I know that I can't tell Civic Rec to use anybody else, but let's give it a shot.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I know that.
I don't mind trying.
Yeah, I do think we ought to send it back.
Nothing but an ask. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't know unless you try.
Most people will expect a red line because they know it's written to protect them.
Yeah, well, every corporation, it's all
Absolutely.
slanted in their favor. So I don't mind trying. If it doesn't work, we'll I don't know that I have another choice, but let's give it a shot.
Okay,
You want to help me mark it up?
sure.
Okay, there you go. That's how you speed something up. I
I mean, I've kind of marked up some things
think about it.
already.
Good. Well,
So,
then if you don't mind, if you can give that to me, we will get it to them and see what we can do quickly.
okay, all right. I'll get it back to you. I'll go home tonight and
Okay. No,
Put it on
thank you
the
very much.
PDF and then-
Look, man, I learned a long time ago.
I'll scan it and send it.
Good,
Okay.
thank you.
I
Thank
got
you.
one question.
Yes, sir.
You kind of have to be in IT to understand some of this stuff that wasn't,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have an IT background,
I
so.
know that, I know that.
And so I'm just like,
You do too.
Well, Laney and I were talking about it.
what?
I say, I'm so glad you do.
Oh,
Laney and I were talking about it the other day. We were like, okay, I'm gonna be honest, okay? I'm throwing us under the bus. We were looking at it and reading it. What's this? What's that? And looking at it. And we looked at each other and we said, Dee Dee's gonna have a field day with this. So just to tell you, you know, I appreciate your help.
now I just want to make sure we're
Tell them
protected.
all
If we can, I'd like for us to try and protect ourselves.
Okay, no, and I think that's wise. And we noticed that it was one hefty contract in their favor. But-
Yeah.
Yeah, I read half of it.
Yeah.
Half of it was Jesus.
Okay, so any other discussion on this contract? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines, and we'll do our best. Thank you. Good job, Brooke. Item 6B, Madam Clerk.
Introduction of ordinance number 2023-34, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to negotiate and execute a contract for computer services and maintenance by and between the City of New Iberia and Vince Como LLC and setting for public hearing on January 3rd, 2023.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Dustin Swear and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. It was close, but I give the man the last one.
Yeah, he got
I
one more.
appreciate that, Freddie. Always looking out for me.
Questions or comments? Vince is here.
Yeah, so maybe Vince should come up.
Vince, come on up. And as y'all know, Vince has been doing this contract for how many years? 4.
I should have warned
Yeah, I
you.
mean, actually, the very first meeting,
Yeah,
Vince's contract came up and I had questions then.
Yeah,
I don't see
yeah.
the changes I asked for either, but anyway. Okay, so I did read through your contract as well, Vince, and a couple of things that actually, I mean, I know we have probably a formal/informal relationship, and you've done, you know, good work. I've not heard any negative things, but
Mm-hmm. Very
I'm
good
also
work.
one of those people that whatever's in the contract is what we have, so we have to be careful. On your system maintenance, I mean, you don't specify what's a regular basis. I mean, you say a regular basis, I don't know what that means. You know, is it quarterly? Is it yearly? Is it, you know, what is it?
Most of this stuff is probably done monthly,
Okay,
or
Yeah.
as needed, I should say, because Microsoft gives out updates whenever they feel like it.
right,
So, most of that. Now, a lot of this has been automated with, some of the new stuff that we've implemented.
okay,
So a lot of it is done as it comes through.
okay. No, I mean, I recognize that some of that stuff, you know, service stuff that can be updated, but you gotta
Right.
time it right. The other thing that this contract does not specify is anything to do with response time. When we have an issue, how quickly are you guys gonna respond to us? I mean, the more customers you get, that could affect our response time. So do you have people dedicated to our account to make sure?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, Mark, who's out, my admin, he's readily available. You can ask any of the people that call.
He's almost here every day.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of stuff that we're doing right now is just getting security, and you know how that is.
Yeah.
That's every day, every month, every
Right.
year. So we're implementing a lot of stuff to deal with security and stuff, so we're here often.
Okay,
And I say here, a lot of it's done remotely,
right.
and after hours and stuff like that.
So do you have a working help desk, or is it,
We have an email address
Okay.
that they email.
if there's an emergency, can they
They can
just,
call, I mean, they call me.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, my preference only, probably, but I really wish the contracts would spell out a little more, make it a little more formal so that we can literally track to see if you're meeting our needs. I mean, today, we have to go, you know, it's anecdotal whether or not these things are being done. I mean, oh, yeah, I called, yeah, they answered. But the fact is that if we knew we could track the response time, then we can say, wow, Vince is doing a great job. Maybe we need to give him a bonus. Right now, you can't get a bonus. I'm joking.
I know you are.
No, I'm just trying to make it a positive thing
Take
for
it
him.
as a joke.
Yeah.
'Cause I like him. He does great work. He ain't getting the bonus.
No, I'm just trying to make it positive. I didn't want it to be a negative thing.
I understand.
But, you know, it's just, I guess when I,
I guess my response is that if we don't respond, they call back pretty quick.
I know.
And I don't know how to track the response, because a lot of it, they'll either email us or call us, and I'll be honest, within 30 minutes or an hour, we've either taken care of the issue or let them know what we're doing to resolve the issue. So, I mean, I do as much as we can, as fast as we can, to get them back up and keep them up as much as possible.
I mean, I get, we're not performing brain surgery over
Yeah,
here.
no, I got
You know,
you.
so I get that. It's just, you know, we're growing. We got 150 computers now. When we have 200 or 250, I mean, this is going to become a big deal. And so you guys either have to grow with
And we
us or you have to put
and-
some
and
in
I have-
place.
I have added another employee since the last meeting.
Okay,
You know, and that's probably my hardest challenge, is finding people,
right,
you know, and keeping them.
yeah,
So that's the biggest thing. But
Okay.
right now, knock on wood, I have 3 great employees, great technicians.
okay.
They're dependable, they're reliable, and they know what they're doing.
And as
Do
a
you
guy
guys-
who's here every day, I have not had complaints. I do check. I do talk to my department heads. I do talk to my, you know, some department heads don't have a lot of computers or a lot of need, but some have quite a lot. And we have not had any issues. I can tell you that the police department does a lot of their own, and Vince has gone out of his way in many instances to help Kellen, because we do a lot of it because of the security and those kind of things in-house. And so there are even times that he is, you know, chipping in over there. But I have not had any complaints or any downtime that was not waiting on equipment, that was not, you know, not his fault.
And we've helped Sandra with the new phone system and stuff. Just trying to coordinate it and stuff like that, because it was just more than she
He's
wanted to handle.
also shot programs for us, like we're looking at iWorks, that we would switch. You remember when we got hacked by the Russians, where Vince came in? We lost a lot of some customized programs that the previous person, Chuck, had built for us. And we never could repair them. He has helped us find some new programs. It looks like I'm gonna take the dive in this year's budget and get iWorks. So we've already had a meeting with all of our department heads. That is gonna coordinate compliance, public works, my office as administration, and give us some new tools to track all of those things that are all so intertwined. But, I mean, I have watched them go over and above, you know, to lend a hand and to work with us. So, you know, it has been a good relationship.
And I think that's great. And, you know, I applaud the effort that you guys are putting out there. I know I see Vince's billboards, you know, around the city. And, you know, as he gets more business and as we grow, you have to be careful, because at some point, you got to be able to track to see, are we getting the service we're paying for? Because, I mean, this is like $10,000 a month.
Yes, ma'am.
So, again, you know, IT person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I just want to make sure that the city is getting the service, and that as we
And
look
that's why I
toward the
think we have
future.
that clause in there. I think there's a section in there if,
I can fire you.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it is.
Okay, I just, you know, as we look at the
My check-
future,
That's my checks and balance. I can fire him.
well, as we look at the future, it's just, you know, maybe in the next contract, as we all continue to grow, that we actually make it a little formal, and so that we can actually track to make sure that we are getting the service that we think we're paying for. Because right now, I mean, it's a gut feeling more than it is that something that we can actually quantify. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions, comments? None? Then I ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Thank you, Vince. Thanks for being patient. That was a long one.
That was.
Hey,
Don't send me a bill.
hey, Vince. Vince, slow down in the school zone.
Okay. I'm gonna ask for a motion to postpone. It wasn't urgent. We've had a very long meeting. I was gonna ask for a motion to postpone item 7.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Member from Ricky Gonsalas, a second by Councilman Marlon Lewis to postpone item 7 till the next meeting. Is there any discussion on this item? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Now we move on to Councilman's remarks. Dustin, you want to go first or last?
I'll go first.
Okay, go first.
Man, this is hard. My last one.
Last one.
But,
Maybe you can invent Councilman remarks at the parish like I did over here.
Good point.
Thank you.
I'll have to see how it goes with the chairman. So yeah, last one. I wish you all good wishes and luck and going on in the future. Like I said earlier in my little speech, I'm not going anywhere. I might be leaving this room, but y'all definitely will see me around and about and doing everything possible. So other than that, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and that is it for tonight.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
So, one, Dustin, I'm gonna miss you. It's been great sitting by you, next to you for the last 3 years. And I know we have voted on things and, maybe not voted on the same things the same way. But, I've always taken your comments to heart and felt like, you gave me something to think about. So, thank you for that. And again, I'll miss you sitting here. To the public, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. We are going to have another mobile market day coming January 12th. Weston Park, lots of fruits and vegetables. We hope to also have Iberia Comprehensive out there again. We're also going to be having a voter registration drive that day. So please come out and, everybody spent all their money for Christmas. So, come out and get some cheap groceries and maybe get your blood pressure checked or, see a doctor while you're there. And if you're not registered to vote, please come out and register to vote because next year, 2024, is an election year, not just presidential, but it's also local. Remember, local people are the ones that really affect your day-to-day.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Neighborhood Watch is this Thursday, 6:00 p.m. at the Slyman. Come on out. Everybody's welcome to come. And Dustin, I definitely will miss you. It's been 7, I would say, great years.
Goes by fast too.
It
quick.
does. It really does. And I wish you the best.
Thank you.
And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody.
Sir.
Yeah, so Merry Christmas to everybody. I think tonight we saw a classic example of the power of the voice of the people, and we've all heard it loud and clear. So thanks to everybody for being a team player, and enjoy spending time with your family, and Happy New Year.
Everybody have a nice Christmas and New Year. As festive as it is, we lost a good principal at our Iberia Middle School. I think her name was Mrs. Boudreaux. I didn't get to meet her.
Bork.
Dina.
I'm sure a lot of people talk highly of this lady. So I appreciate everything you've been done. And thank y'all and have a good Christmas.
Yes, sir.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Be safe. I think this is the last meeting of this year, right?
Yes, sir.
So I
Well,
just
no, we
wanna-
have a special meeting on the 28th.
Okay, well, we may not do council remarks, so I'm
We probably won't.
say, hey, listen, man, it's been a great year. We accomplished a lot. We had the grand finale tonight. We had the grand finale tonight. People came out to voice their opinions. I can appreciate that. Other than that, be safe. Be safe and take care of each other. Learn to love each other. Remember, Jesus is the reason for the season.
Amen.
That's it. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I also want to wish everyone Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. This is the end of year 3 for me, Miss Dee Dee, and Mr. Ricky on the city council. So one more year, and then who knows? But it was a pleasure serving with all of you. Dustin, we'll miss you, and have fun on the parish council.
Thank you.
Want to be quick? Merry Christmas. What a way to end the year. It has been a very interesting year, I'll tell you. We've had a lot of ups and downs and a whole lot of issues, but boy, we have turned out some stuff. We have, if you think of everything that we pulled off this year and the things that are coming because of our work as a team, it has been a good year. And I think this was a good way to end the year because this was government at work. That's what this was. This was local government at work. And we got a lot of work to do. So always a challenge here, but that's what makes it fun. I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. I really mean that. And Dustin, we're gonna miss you. You'll be there at the parish. I look forward to watch you there in action. And we'll be talking because I do think there are a lot of things that we can partner on, can work together on. So I just feel like we're blessed. We got another contact at the big white building. So everybody, let's use it because I do think that there are many ways that we can partner and can work together. The city is part of the parish and vice versa. So all the luck in the world, and I've enjoyed serving with you for 7 years. It's been a trip. It's been good. And that's it. Thank you all for tonight before we part ways. And Merry Christmas to everybody and a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Thank you.